You son of a bitch.
Jay.
Hit you with the drop
Jay.
kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with that drop kick, Marty Jannetty.
Let me do this again.
Oh, it's live, House.
Welcome back to the latest edition of Hot Tag Wrestle Corner. Kind of late with this one, trying to get it in as quick as possible. So let's just jump in. I'm on half of your host, Rob.
I'm Clint.
And we're going to start off with the news. First news story we're going to do. Updates on the investigation into the AEW All Out Brawl and the status of Ace Steel. Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that investigation into the brawl between CM Punk and Ace Steel with the Elite at AEW All Out has not been concluded. The reason because the investigation has stalled due to threats of legal action. Nobody has been released yet, including Ace Steel, who has reported to have bitten Kenny Omega and thrown a chair. However, there's no word on when anyone will come back to AEW if they do. Also, update on Becky Lynch's back injury. It happened back in July. As previously reported, she separated shoulder in a match with Bianca Belair at SummerSlam this past July. She noted in an interview last month that she was recovering quickly. PWI.
You good?
Yep.
All right.
Good look.
Jay.
Hey, you said you got a cane? Can I find another for you? Okay. PWI Insider reports that Lynch is backstage at the WWE Raw taping in Minnesota this past Monday. A separated shoulder takes around 3 months to heal, so Lynch is likely set to return to WWE TV soon. My guess, they may hold her out until SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, so I said that. Royal Rumble, which is right around the corner.
Yeah, I think that's what the popular rumor everybody was saying. She's advertising.
They have plenty of talent to cover it right now, you know what I'm saying? So give her time. Let her come back when she's fully good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want her to come back.
Renee Paquette, wife of Jonathan Moxley, good looking. Rumored to be signing with AEW. WWE expressed interest in her return also. I can see why she wouldn't want to go back there after her past experience of what was going on. According to reports by Fightful Select, former WWE broadcaster Renee Paquette is believed to be signing with All Elite Wrestling. According to sources within WWE, they believe Paquette is headed to AEW. Additionally, reports noted that Give Me Sports' Louis Dangor heard about WWE reaching out to Paquette on a possible return to the company. However, that has not yet been confirmed by Fightful. Paquette and AEW have not yet confirmed any plans for her signing with the company. Renee Paquette previously signed with WWE in October 2012. She later exited the company in late 2020. During her tenure, she served as a backstage interviewer, a host of WWE programs, and served as part of the Monday Night Raw broadcast commentary team. She hosted WWE Backstage on FS1. With her broadcasting background, it would make sense if AEW was seeking to bring her on in that type of a capacity. Paquette is also married to reigning AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, who recently signed a 5-year extension with AEW to stay with the company long term. Paquette and Moxley welcomed their first child together, a daughter, Nora, last year. Since leaving WWE, Paquette has launched her own podcast, The Sessions, which was formerly called The Oral Sessions. I figured maybe she caught a little too much flack for Oral Sessions, so she changed the name of it, but I think that name was a lot cooler than just The Sessions. It stood out a little more, so fuck whoever made her have to change that shit. But also, I get that. Why don't you go ahead with the next story there, Clint? Let's end that one, basically.
All right. So we're gonna jump into. I'm saying that. Assuming Black Adam. I don't know if it came out yet, but it's the movie that I want to see. And in fact, that seems like.
Under the mic.
Under the mic, right there.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
All right, brother.
All right, bro.
Good show. Let's go.
All right.
So I don't know if Black Adam came out yet. That's a movie.
No, October 21st.
But so everybody's talking about The Rock should run for president and if he should. Well, he was asked that question on an interview that to air CBS on CBS Sunday morning. He said, "Is it off the table?" Yes, it's off the table. I say it requires the B side to this. I love our country and everyone in it, but I also love being a daddy, and that's number one important thing for me is being a daddy. especially during this time, it's critical in my daughter's lives because I know what it's like to be on the road and be so busy that I was absent for a lot of years. That my first daughter growing up at this critical age, so at this critical time in her life, and that's what the presidency will do. So my number one priority is my daughter. Sure, CEO sounds great, but the number one thing I want to do is be daddy. That's it. And of course, his oldest daughter is Simone Johnson, who signed with NXT contracts since February 2020. He's going by the name Ava Raine, and he has two daughters with his current wife, Lauren and Sean. They have two daughters. One was born in December 2015, and the other one in April 28. So
2018, I'm assuming.
2018. Yeah. So no Rock presidency. No, if you smell the Rock is cooking the wrestling rings in the White House. Another news story I go into is Ric Flair. Talked about on his To Be the Man podcast. He addressed whether he'll wrestle again after seeing Ricky Steamboat is having another match. Of course, I think I mentioned this on last week's show. Steamboat will be teamed with FTR versus Jay Lethal, Brock Anderson, and the mystery partner that Arn Anderson will be managing at the Big Time Wrestling Show in Raleigh, North Carolina. Of course, Steamboat declined to be a part of Ric Flair's last match. So, of course, we all remember he teamed with his son, Andrade, against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. He said, when I say it inspired me to want to do it again, it's not that I couldn't. I stand by this. I wish I hadn't said my last match, and I don't want to disappoint a bunch of fans by doing it again. But I got myself in a good shape. I made what turned out to be a drastic mistake by not hydrating, but I feel great. I feel like as long as you're healthy, you should be able to do what you want. When you get my age, I feel like we limit ourselves opposed to what people think. What the hell, I can do it and probably do it better, and he probably will. You know he'll look better. He always has and always will. So, praising. A lot of praise onto Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who actually last match I want to say wrestled WWE was Jericho at Mania, and he looked good in that match. That shit was a good match between them two. Another news story. The Sandman said Bobby Lashley was fired from WWE years ago about complaining about his WrestleMania pay. This was when he joined Captain Corners for a virtual signing and mentioned how much top money he was paid for the WrestleMania 23 performance and revealed why he think Lashley got fired from WWE a year ago. A couple highlights is, dude, $40,000 to do two moves. I did a leg drop from the top rope on Matt Striker, who was laying over the top rope, and I did a clothesline over the top rope on the Pope, Elijah Burke. He said, and I clotheslined him over the top rope, got a fucking check. Like 2 months later, when there were 8 guys in the match, and we were fit on the card of 8, and the main event was, I forgot what it was, but then the main was Trump shaving, he said, Trump shaving fucking Vince. He said Lashley complained about his $500 million payout for the Battle of Millionaire matchup against Umaga, which he believed got Lashley fired. Damn, he got...
I mean, $500 million payout.
Half 500, my fault. Half 500,000, $500,000 payout, my fault. Yeah, so he said I don't know about Van Dam what he was paid for WrestleMania 23, but I don't even like asking Van Dam stuff like that. But all the guys are like, yeah, I know, that's what I got paid. So they paid 8 guys. They probably got off cheap too. That was a $320,000 match and paying those guys. And Bobby Lashley was in the match, Battle of Billionaires. He got fired. You know why? Because he bitched about getting $500,000 for that match. Because Bobby Lashley couldn't wrestle a lick back then. Now he's pretty good, but he couldn't wrestle real good back then. He fucking complained about getting $500,000, dude. Vince is like, you're fired. Didn't take him back for years. He's over as shit now. So, I mean... Can you see that? I can see Vince firing somebody for
I can see him firing somebody for that. I don't know that the actual reasoning, though. But, I mean, it's believable. I can see it.
I can see Vince firing somebody because somebody complaining about them making enough money.
Jade Cargill recently had an interview with DJ Wu Kid. And in an interview, she had some highlights where, one, she said she can see Cardi B in AEW. I don't know why. Quote, man, listen, if she popped out, I'm a huge listen. I listen to her songs to get pumped up. It's between like Doja Cat, Cardi B. I listen to songs to get me pumped up because I'm that bitch, right? So I need to listen to music that's gonna make me feel empowered and like I'm just going to go out there and kick ass and own everything I touch. And the music does that. Which I think she retweeted Twina and I was just like, I know they're not talking about me, but listen, you've seen me, and that's in and of itself. She's a wrestling fan, so if Cardi B wants to pop up on my show on that bitch show TBS Wednesdays at 8, I would love that. Possibly on holding both women's titles. I mean, at once. Quote, I'm in 2 years in the game. I think it would be total disrespect if I go for both belts and get both belts right now. I'm going to give these women the time and grace to do their best until I decide that I want to go for the other belt. So honestly, it's on my time. Let me just give them grace and give them time to get themselves together, get the little shine they need, because once I take over, it's done. Everything's on my time and I'm just relaxed, chilling, enjoying the belt right now and building up and making it more special than the main belt is right now. Anyway, is my main goal.
Man, shit, like she ain't lying.
Details on Moxley extending his AEW deal. So his deal was up in July. So he worked like maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks without a deal. But eventually got one done. 5-year extension that keep him with the company until 2027. Which is a good sign to me that the company is showing some lasting power, even though they've had some recent troubles backstage. 5 select reports that there had been word that Moxley was working without the contract at some point, as I stated. Though it's not confirmed, AEW is willing to do whatever it took to keep Moxley with the company.
Technically needed to be honest.
Yeah,
but everything going on right now, that's one of your leaders right now.
You need that, yeah.
It's a bad look if he say he don't want to resign and miss everything that's happened. That really make you look bad. So it's good that you got him locked up.
As had been noted, the announcement said that Moxley is not exclusively competing for AEW and its international partners, including New Japan, which leaves us work for companies like GCW and Revolver in question. It's probably why he dropped that GCW belt in that title versus career match with Nick Gage over the weekend.
Yeah, so congratulations to Mox. You get, well, probably not Wild Thing, but probably like Founder. They're probably going to change his theme again, probably.
AEW declined to comment on what this meant for his stats when they played the companies. GCW weren't aware of the press release until it happened. It says the sources weren't sure what it meant for the status for the company. Moxley is the GCW World Champion, as I just stated, and all that stuff for the Fight Club show over the weekend, which Gage won with the help of members of the firm. So setting up more for him versus MJF, and I still expect MJF to get that belt off him. It's time for his reign.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone. Got a funny Tony Schiavone moment this week. Tony recalls Vince McMahon asking him to shave his mustache, because if you didn't know, for one whole year, Tony Schiavone worked for Vince McMahon in the WWE. Starting around, I think he said SummerSlam 89 through basically SummerSlam 1990. Yeah, he worked from 89 through 90. Shivani in a short run WWE released how you recall Vince McMahon asked him to shave his mustache for it. AEW commentators spoke about his time in WWE for ad-free shows, which was probably on his podcast. He recalled McMahon making the request that didn't want any aspect of Shivani's time for Jim Crockett proposal to carry on to the WWE TV and wanted him to shave his mustache so he would contrast with Mean Gene Okerlund, who had a gigantic mustache. Quote, Vince wanted me to shave my mustache. He said, I'm going to ask you to do something if you don't mind doing it. And this is back in the day when Vince would ask you to do something instead of telling you to do something. He added, so he wanted to completely erase all my identity from the NWA. And I wouldn't. I would much rather Arn give me a spine buster because his belly is so big now I just bounce off of him. Shivani worked with WWE for under a 1-year contract and worked alongside Jesse Ventura on the commentary teams for SummerSlam 89, Royal Rumble 1990, along with other shows. He returned to WCW after his contract expired. Legado del Fantasma has joined SmackDown, led by the returning Zelina Vega. She comes out with blonde hair now, which is pretty hot. I'm wondering, is this like the same situation they had when they were in NXT, which you would be the expert of, with Alexa Vega, or no, Electra
Lopez?
Electra Lopez. Was she like what spokeswoman, leader of the team, or what?
She was kind of well, she was like with the group all the time. Like she had matches. Like they all wear like the armband. She would wear it too. Like I don't know how they're gonna do it with Selena. I mean, she was.
You gonna feel that same role is basically what I'm asking.
It's hard to say. I mean, probably she's still gonna probably be like a manager. Like she's still gonna be
Yeah,
out
she
there
held belt and was the queen of the
with-
ring there, so she could definitely have in-ring matches. So that's why I would assume she'd have that same role.
She's still gonna be like the manager and probably everything like that. But I don't know because everybody thought that Alexa Lopez was gonna be coming up with them, but those plans kind of got derailed once they actually temporarily broke up Del Fantasma. Well, technically they ain't break them up, but like if I remember correctly, once I think it was Escobar that got hurt. One of them got hurt, and it kind of detoured when they focused more on Escobar's solo run back when they was like getting squashed. Not getting squashed, but they was like losing matches on NXT. And that's when they kind of like broke them up. So Alexa Lopez wasn't really with them then. So it's probably going to be the same thing. On the two, I think they felt that she wasn't ready for the roster call up yet. Which is funny because I don't got it on me, but it was a tweet that she pulled out that was funny because people keep bringing back because like, like everybody got bought up the main roster except for you. So, but it wasn't a tweet like her being braggish though. She basically just saying like they all gonna get bought up together, and fortunately she wasn't one of the people that got bought up because plans changed. So, ain't no people got to troll and have and crack jokes at other people expenses about that.
That's what they do. That's what they do. Hate them. Haters don't hate, especially when you're down. Previously reported, Saraya had got physical on Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. Britt Baker earlier in the show had cut a promo saying, in case you didn't know, the doctors have not cleared her, so no, this isn't her house, it's still mine, is what she was saying. Brawling with Britt Baker and kicking Rebel, drastic change from WWE where she was to do not touch list due to her neck problems and conditions. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Saraya was cleared for physicality by AEW Dr. Michael Sampson. Sampson used to work for WWE and was notably the one that saved the life of Jerry Lawler when he had his heart attack a decade ago. At this time, it remains to be seen if she'd be cleared to wrestle, but she was at least allowed to brawl a little on AEW Dynamite, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, something like, somewhere like you ain't gonna really focus on her as much compared to like if like at least something like seriously happened. So that's good that hopefully she is able to wrestle on there, which she probably will be. She never had that discussion with WWE. And again, because Vince was scared of the fact that, well, what if she get hurt again? So, I mean, I understand from both points out, but at the same time, you got to have faith that she can get back in that ring. And that's mostly, I think the most issue with her was her self-confidence. But she said it that, like, for a while, like, she was scared of, like, going back, like, into the ring. It would understand that fear happens, like something serious like that. So, I mean, the thing is, I guess when she felt she was ready, I guess Vince already seen like, well, you wasn't sure about it before, so he probably just said, I don't think you was the name with it. So, but when she went to AEW, she finally like had that confidence and everything ready, and, like get back in it. And that's not a shot at WWE, by the way neither. I mean, I understand their point of view from it too, but at the same time. She want to get back out there. Got to see what she do. Wish her the best. Hope she get rid of that Band-Aid. That man Band-Aid, because she did it for a while. She had that Band-Aid, like Band-Aid. People that like get hurt, like so. Hope she go back to kicking ass too. Like love Paige in the ring.
There's many things AEW seems to have in common right now, other than putting in great matches week after week. But you know what else they have in common right now? Backstage drama, unfortunately. There's been another fight backstage. This time with a common violator. This is his fourth offense, I call. And I'm thinking like maybe your ass might need to be on the line here soon, brother. Because eventually so many infractions rack up and you tend to be the common denominator and not just being able to blame it on whoever else was involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it was Andrade's fault or was Matt Hardy's fault or whatever.
I'm going to say this, and we're
speaking of Sammy Guevara.
I'm about to bring up another person, but what this person did was extremely way more, out there, way more offensive, way more like go to jail charges and everything for what Sammy Guevara did. So I'm not comparing their situations. I'm just comparing in terms of like their age. Sammy Guevara's like 24 years old. Velveteen Dream was like 24, 25 years old too. Like
his is way
that's
more
what I said. I'm not comparing.
Way more egregious.
That's what I said.
I know you did. I know you're not. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just saying.
I'm saying like you get too many like
you don't get too many chances.
You don't get too many chances like that. Like, and you had 4 incidents, including one thing where you got trouble because you made a sexual contact, a serious sexual contact towards Sasha Banks. But I think they said that comment was like wasn't recent. It was like farther back. It got dug up and everything like that.
Yeah.
That with the whole Me Too everything coming out, so it got dug up back then. Then young guy again, he's only like 23, so like he made this comment like probably like 18 or something. Something. Don't excuse what you said, but like you've been a lot of shit, bro. The thing with Eddie Kingston, this
Andrade.
the shit with Sasha Banks, and then the fact that you had heat when you did the whole trip. I think you're
with Matt Hardy.
I think he's literally safe right now, literally because of Chris Jericho. That's it. I honestly believe that.
I mean, people were pissed off. Well, somewhere I heard backstage that he was in the main event this week, even though he'd been in trouble again.
Yeah, but they said the thing was though. They said a lot of people backstage said that he didn't hit Andrade. Like he didn't like physically touch him. Andrade was the aggressor.
Well, let's talk about it.
Why he got sent home and Guevara wound up. I think the main issue was that he was in the main event after all this happened.
The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports has more details in the aftermath after the Andrade Idolo fight with Sammy Guevara, in which Andrade was sent home, and it's been reported that Guevara didn't throw a punch, so he wasn't punished. Instead, he competed in the main event of Dynamite and won. That was the match with Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Danny Garcia and Bryan Danielson, so we'll talk about that later. One account said that the company looks bad right now due to this fight happening so soon after the one between CM Punk and the Elite. Key talent is said to be upset with Andrade for knowing how this would make AEW look, especially with the timing and doing it anyway. One source noted that Chris Jericho backed Sammy Guevara and confirmed that he did nothing wrong, which led to Guevara not being punished. The source said that this was a double standard because the Elite didn't throw any punches at CM Punk and were suspended anyway, though the rumor was they busted in the room with 3 punches. So it means, is that the truth? They didn't throw punches and this was all on CM Punk and them? So why the fuck is that investigation other than the legal side coming in taking so long? We obviously know
technically
this is all Punk's fault.
Yeah, Punk threw punches first. So if you throw a punch at me, I mean, I'm going to defend myself.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's the way it's supposed to go. I just think the fact that I don't think they look bad because of it happened the thing with Punk and them. I think the reason it made them look bad because it's like this was a moment where you could have took a stance or what's the name. Like even though he ain't do nothing wrong, but you know he has past offenses. This was a situation where he could have been like, you know what, nah, like. Suspended, like indefinitely, something like that. But again, Chris Jericho, at the same time, Tony Khan, like, man, like, Chris really believes in this guy, and Chris been in the business damn near 20, 30 years. So it's like, years. It's like, so, I mean, I get what they saying, Chris Bam, but at the same time, this was kind of a moment you could have had, like, so that you have a little bit of backbone. Like, or maybe it was payback because Jericho let you know what was going on at the scrum, about backstage when he was the name. Maybe it probably was the, I give you one for that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Yeah. We'll see. Andrade's probably out the door though.
Yeah, that's my guess. That is my guess. Another person added that major issues have not been solved. That people are causing problems that want to leave and aren't allowed to leave. And all of those people who contacted by WWE and Triple H in some form.
And I hate people that do that. I hate that cause a ruckus because I want to go somewhere.
The person expressed frustration that Tony Khan hasn't done enough to punish those acting out.
Oh, man.
You pull one up right now. I'm
opposed to that,
I still got hold on 1 second.
Well, basically they said it stemmed from I guess Guevara told Andrade that he hit him too hard or something like that.
I got one more story. I actually have two more stories. One related to this, and then I'll let you go, and then I just got one more funny one, but continue. I'm sorry.
And then, Road Dogg says it's wrestling, bro. I mean, look, bless his heart. Again, that goes back to generations. How can another man go to another man after wrestling match and go, hey, you hit me too hard? You know what I mean? If you get real hard, if I hit you really hard and it's too hard, I'm going to apologize to you anyway. Like, that's my bad, dude. I caught you with one. Whatever. He said that he can't compute that Guevara actually told that to Andrade, but he said, but for me, it's almost an oxymoron. For you to have the intestinal fortitude to walk up to a man and say, hey, you hit me too hard. I don't even know how you even compute that. Then he said, look how hard Gunter and Sheamus hit each other.
Right?
He got a point. He got a point.
You sound soft as fuck, Sammy.
That's what he's saying. And they beat the shit out of each other. Couple stories. The WWE NXT, new commentary team for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. SmackDown, the new team is now Michael Cole. Wade Barrett is moving up from NXT. Samantha Irvin will still serve as the ring announcer, with Megan Morant and Kayla Braxton serving as your backstage interviewers. Monday Night Raw will be led by Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. Jimmy Smith is no longer with WWE.
Yeah, I saw he let his contract run out.
Yeah.
So who's on Raw now?
Saying he's been fired. Well, he basically
wasn't fired.
He put something out there saying Triple H let him know he was fired before he went on air. Like, I don't know, like, what's going on.
I didn't hear about him being fired. Why would he been fired?
I don't think he got fired. I think his contract probably ran out. I don't know. But he the one that's saying that, like,
who is he replaced by is my question.
Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves are a new commentary team.
Kevin Patrick's on commentary now?
Yeah, you know, he's the backstage play-by-play guy.
I
he
know
also
who he
been
is.
in Raw Talk. Mike Roman's still doing the ring announcer. Kathy Kelly is back, and her and Byron Saxton will be doing on-screen interviews.
Nice, I like Kathy Kelly. She was hot.
Interviews. Jimmy Smith put this statement on Twitter, so I just want to say that now that the story is officially out, my time with WWE is done. Had a lot of fun, met some great people, really been truly blown away by the acceptance from WWE fans. You make it worth every week, and your enthusiasm was amazing. Vic Joseph and Booker T will be commentating NXT. T going forward. So, of course, he's been part of Raw, SmackDown, some of the WWE kickoff shows, commentary-wise. So, he's going to be doing that now. Alicia Taylor will be the ring announcer, and Mackenzie Mitchell is still the backstage interviewer. Live events, Cole and Graves will be doing the commentary. Major live events, Cole and Graves will be the commentary team. And, of course, that's announced on SmackDown after Pat McAfee announced that he's taking a temporary leave to be an analyst on ESPN Game Day. Once college football season ends, he will return to WWE. So, I mean, props to you for that. Some more stories. Jake Roberts. Got a couple from this guy. First one, he said that apparently him and Undertaker had a tag team. He didn't last long. He said the reason he think it could have lasted longer, his words, I think the Undertaker and I, as a tag team, could have did easy 6 months of anybody and everybody. I think they missed out on that. I also think we would have drawn a lot of money as a tag team. We were unbeatable as a tag team. How the hell do you beat those guys? He said, I think the big problem with us, the reason that they didn't go with the tag team thing is that we would have been so unbeatable that they would have had to turn him babyface real soon. They're talking about Taker, which I could probably see that probably happening. Because, you know, Jake was like an asshole. And then they lose the match. He started being like a dick and everything.
You want to play blackjack? You got 21, I got 22.
Then another day story. He's on DDP Snake Pit Podcast, and he said Undertaker enjoyed traveling with him during their day to EJ because it was due to his knowledge of strip clubs. He said Undertaker wanted to ride with him because he knew where the best strip club was. He said he would come to me, and when he first got to he'll say, Jake, I'll be riding with you. I'm like, well, that's kind of bold. You're going to go set up rides for me now. He goes, no, I want to travel with you. I'm like, okay, so you want to get underneath the learning tree. I appreciate you being bold enough and ask me straight out, hey man, I'll be glad to share anything I know. He said, that's great too, but I also heard you know where all the good strip joints are. He said, "What?" I said, "Worldwide." Then he said, "Well, I'm going to hang out with you." And he said, he said the joke was that he was going to bury Taker at the club before adding that some of those was his favorite time. He said, "Let's be honest, dude. You play basketball, did you?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You probably better off going off and drilling somewhere in the corner trying to hang out with me. I'll bury your dumb ass." He said, "You can't hang with me." He said, "It's a challenge. I'll meet you 1-for-1. I said, "Okay, let's go."
Don't just sound like Black Jack got 21, I got 22. It sounds like that's how he's talking.
He said, so we did that for about 2 months and was taking a heavy toll on him. I remember going on TV one night and Vince said, "Hey, dead man, you don't need to put on paint tonight. You look dead enough already. You need to stay the hell away from Jake." He said, a week or two later, somebody told him he got alcohol poisoning. That's where I ended the contest and said, "Look, man, I cheat." Oh, God, yeah. There's no way in hell I'm going to lose to you because I know there's vitamins that you could take that will quit you, that will keep you going no matter what you drink. I shared the information with him, which wasn't a good thing to do because he was which wasn't a good thing to do because he was highly addictive at the time. That's my bad. But no, Mark traveled with me, man. It was some of my favorite times. So, I mean, Jake the Snake Roberts, right?
Yes,
Love Jake the Snake. Let me see. I think I got a couple more. Oh, another story. So Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts again.
yes, I love Jake Roberts.
Believe that.
Guess what? You know what else? I forgot to mention this. He has a book about to come out. I don't know if we talked about it.
I think we talked about it on last
Okay, good. I can't wait to get it. I'm going to read it just for the show.
Jake Roberts believed that WWE Undertaker streak was wasted on Brock Lesnar. He said that they wasted the streak on Lesnar. He said no, they did not make the right decision. Why waste it? Because it wasn't needed. Lesnar was already a monster. He was a badass. He didn't need that push. If they would have done with somebody that wasn't at that level, then I say, okay, yeah, that'd be good. Which the argument a lot of people were saying, like Brock Lesnar should have been the one to beat the streak. Like a lot of people felt Edge should have been the one to beat the streak. Streak, which I agree with Edge probably beating the streak. Or somebody young up and coming like Mark Henry when he was doing his Hall of Fame thing, but he said, "Oh yeah, that wouldn't be that good because you're bringing somebody up. To do it for a guy that's equal as you haven't accomplished anything but waste the opportunity to get somebody over." He said Reigns could have been the guy. And that Lesnar's only going to lead to digest. He said, if you would have done it with Reigns, yeah, that would have been something. But to get the most out of that, you got to bring somebody that's down up to here. That's how you get sustainable pop. You know what they got out of that with the way they did it? You said disgust. Disgust. So, yeah. Also true. Couple more. Run down the story so we can get into these shows. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Because I don't think they mentioned it to NXT, so I'll mention now if it did, then I'll just skip when I do my NXT review.
Okay.
So next week we have a spin the wheel, make the deal match between Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. This stems from when they was on the Grayson Waller effect. Yes, another guy with a TV show on wrestling TV. They said Halloween have a schedule Saturday, October 24th. So the matches that you have right now is the spin the wheel, make the deal match. Hay versus Mensa versus Wesley versus Von Wagner or Andre Chase versus Axel Frazier. Frazier, and then you got the triple threat match for the unified NXT title between JD Madonna, Brian Breaker, and Dragunov. So that would probably be a good hard hitting match, at least on the part of Dragunov. So get that one out the way. Winding down on the stories. We already talked about Sammy Guevara, didn't we? Yes, we did. You said that one. You mentioned that one already. About how you talk about how he wasn't punished because a lot of people felt that with the elite. Two more news stories. Well, Tony Khan, this is an AEW news story. He said AEW would be in a very challenging position without these three superstars. He joined the Dance and In-Depth interview, and he was asked about pro wrestling, where he asked what would he do without these three superstars. So I'm gonna give you a guess. Who do you think these three superstars that he said? How challenging AEW be without these three superstars?
Moxley
is one of them.
Jericho
is another one.
I guess Danielson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of superstars over there now.
He said it'd be very challenging. If you look at many teams that took 3 players of them, 3 are the most talented, productive players in the world. Then he compared it to the NBA. He talked about you take Bird, McHale, Paris Johnson, Kareem, Worthy, Michael, Pippen, Rodman off their respective team. Then you look at them, those 3 most productive players off. That's Danielson, Moxley, and Jericho to him. A lot of people contribute to our show, but them 3 are what make the show special, make the show that much more important. That's a lot of praise for Bryan Danielson. And, you know, he haven't been up there that long, have he? But again, that's just what he does. Also on the final note on some sad news. So Sarah Lee, who was a former Tough Enough winner, she won a 2015 Tough Enough, died Thursday at the age of 30. The cause of death was not provided, but it was saying that like she put a post up saying that she was ready to finally get back to training, that she had a real bad sinus infection. So I don't know if that led to anything, you know, more serious. She was married to former WWE wrestler Corey James Weston.
In the what was them dude's name? They used to come out with Riker. He was one of them dudes.
Yeah,
he was one of them dudes.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names. They were like the Proud Boys. And for Trump and shit.
Yeah, Jason Riker was one of them, and was it Wesley Blake?
I think so.
I think it was Wesley Blake. She was the mother of 3 children. Some news. Sonya Deville said, absolutely heartbreaking. Life is too short. Sending love and prayers to her family and loved ones. Oscar said, I will miss Sarah forever. Charlotte Flair shared a memorial fund with the emoji, with a broken heart emoji.
You know what's crazy? I think they probably all came up with her. They're all around the same age because she's only 30. Sorry to cut you off there, brother. You know what I had noticed? Because I had watched a video about it on YouTube. But do you know the season she won was the same year Mandy Rose finished second?
Yeah. Same thing with Sonya Deville was on there. Yeah. They was all on there, yeah.
And it's crazy. All of them still made it, but she never really did.
Because she went to... reason she didn't make it was because she went to school to become... I just pulled it up. They said she went to school to become... Damn, I got I don't think I got it no more. She basically wouldn't. She left. She ain't leave. She more like she was going in the medical field basically. So like that was like her designated like profession. So it wasn't that she left there. She went to pursue a career in the medical field, which was successful. Blake has not made a statement about her passing. Unfortunately. So former NXT superstar Bull James launched a GoFundMe to benefit the family of her. An original post by Lee Moore on Facebook of the GoFundMe indicated that her passing was sudden and unexpected. They had a goal of $20,000, but they already raised $76,571. Top donations came from Kevin Owens and his wife, who donated $5,000. Chris Jericho donated $2,500. Titus O'Neil, Madcap Moss, Elias, they all donated $2,000. Pro Wrestling Tees owner Ryan Barkin and several other $1,000 donations from various wrestling stars came on, and more like wrestling colors and everything like that. So, rest in peace to Sarah Lee. Man. Died young and younger, man. I'm older than her, you know? Like,
It's so crazy, man. Let's take a moment of silence for Miss Sarah Lee. Go on to some. Associated with our Andrade story, there was a picture of Rush he released of him and Andrade shaking hands backstage, or were doing their fist bump thing. So maybe that's him saying adios, see you down the road type of deal.
Yes.
After the altercation, it was reported he was sent home after the backstage scuffle stemming from the online feud from comments Andrade made in the podcast. It was reported Thursday Guerrero was sent home was not at home. He didn't throw the punch and or attempt to fight back. Though one said that Guevara shoved Andrade after the later man spun him around to confront him. So Andrade must have punched him after this. Cause he said he didn't. He said
you hit me too. You hit me too hard.
Rouge posted a photo of himself on Andrade and Jose the Insistent on Twitter, captioning it saying "In Gorgonopolis forever." Yeah, I miss Andrade. You know, that's my nigga. Probably my nigga. That's my dude.
You know what, man?
And
I hope he go. I feel like if he go back to WWE, I feel like Triple H will push this shit out of him.
Good. I'm glad. And that's where his wife is. Maybe that's where he really wants to be at the end of the day. But I just hope he's happy. You know, I understand his frustration. I feel like his time in AEW was miserable. I feel like he didn't get the push that he felt like he deserved. That's why I felt it was miserable. And I felt like it was so much going on with so many different people and so many things in each other ways and stuff like that. And I felt like they didn't book him right. That whole gimmick where he was just kept taking cats' masks and stuff, you just didn't utilize him correctly. You know, sometimes guys get lost in the shuffle. It happens in every company. So I don't want to sit here and try to murder Tony Khan for it or whatever. Like, you should have did this, you should have that with L.E. Low. You missed out on his talent. He has so much talent that he has to push. I can't sit here and... You can't knock... This is the thing, too. Knock him. And the thing is, like, when it comes to like WWE... Also, like, though, I do feel Sammy should have shut his fucking mouth. Sammy instigated that. You got yourself stolen. You had no point. You had no business making comments on what that man said. The man honestly didn't say anything talking down-ish. I think I brought it up on the show last week. All he said was, I feel like I'm not being utilized right in the company, and soon enough it's going to be my time to go. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I do feel like he may have been told... wasn't taking a shot. I feel like he may have been told, you got to wait till your deal's up. And he may force his hand by doing some shit like this, like we talked about earlier, and that's a shitty thing to do. But at the same time, I also feel him like, no, you weren't ever pushed right there. And no, they never really had the right gimmick on you. The only thing they did super good with him was his feud with Cody. No, I want to be... Outside of that, the Luther thing was good, except they kept ending with that mask still and shit, which made it just like corny. But... like, as far as the talent, that was never not, in question. Like, he showed up as he did in WWE for me every time. You know, that's been my dude since NXT, back when he was partying and they had to bring in Zelina Vega to straighten his ass out, and then he became the NXT champion. Like, that's my dude for a minute. So I rock with Andrade, but that's why I say I kind of agree with him. I don't agree with the way he went about it, though. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I feel like I cut you off. No, you didn't. I get what you're saying. Like, the way that he went about it wasn't like... He should have went about it. He should have went about it better. I say this out of love, because that's my dude. You know, I rock... Eat it low every time, but... like I said, I agree with... I don't agree with how he went about it. I agree with how he feel. I don't agree with how he went about it. He should have went on... He basically should have took it on social media, basically. That's something you just... with everything that got going on right now, that was not a good look. Yeah. But I will say this, too, though, and I think it's something that they said, too. It's like, Tony Khan is bringing up all these guys, and some of them are getting pushed to the back. Try was one of them guys that he heavily pushed, when he first came. And then, Cody left. You got Keith Lee. You got Swerve Scott. You got Jeff Hardy. Well, Swerve Strickland, my fault. Jeff Hardy's gone. No, but I feel what you're saying. My homie came out dancing while his brothers can be. Yeah, that shit was so funny. Like, bro, you gonna dance like he getting his ass whooped? Like, bro, I get it. You Jeff Hardy. I was dying, bro. I'm dying. Like I said, then you bring up, and I don't know if these guys came up after Andrade. I think Sting was before Andrade. Yes. Okay, so guys like Malachi Black, I think was after, wasn't he? Wasn't Malachi Black after? They were kind of fairly around the same time. Andrade and Malachi. Okay. Yeah, so like I get it. Like, you bought some of them guys. Some of them guys did get bigger pushes. You got pushed back. You got pushed to the back, which I understand. But again, don't take personal business like that to social media. I get it. It's a code of ethics in the locker room. Like, and they, I forgot who was it that we was doing the show, and I forgot who said it, but somebody, I don't even think it was I don't think it was nobody involved at the fight at the time.
It was like a letter to somebody that said something. Booker T, I think it was Booker T, he said court, King's Court, Wrestler's Court is what he called it. Like, you got a problem with something to somebody, you take it up with that person there at that moment. You don't take it to online. You don't take it to social media. You don't take it to the rest of the locker room.
I heard somebody recently shitting on Wrestler's Court and saying how immature that it was and stuff like that. And it was also a way to push on a lot of stereotypes backstage and a lot of the bullying, you know what I'm saying, by having the wrestlers hash it out instead of having the real adults in the room, which are the management handle the situation. This is a way
but at the same,
management trying to keep their hands out of the situation.
But at the same time, though, back then, I mean, like, your best bet was to set it out with that wrestler because you can go to management if you want to. But is it really telling that it's going to get resolved? They'll probably say, oh, do this or do this, but that means it's going to get resolved, though. You know, especially back then. People was on the road all the time. Motherfuckers eventually going to run into each other. Now.
Sorry.
Now.
We got one more thing we need to talk about right after the news before we get into the reports, but go ahead.
Now, you can do it to the point where you can split people up, you know, you can separate them, you know, but back then you really couldn't do it all like that. They're going to find a way to get to each other anyway. So, Wrestler Court, I think back then was the right way to do it. Now, I can see why it won't work that way now, because now you can go to management easily as you could back then. But, that's it, though. That's my take on the whole.
Messing everything up, trying to rearrange my stuff so my camera quit turning on.
Yeah,
right.
See that.
Sorry, I'm good. Okay, so one last story. I just want to see this happen, and then maybe we can get WrestleMania 42. This man versus Omos in a fight pit with Dan Cormier as the referee. Dwight Howard has attended WWE trials over the summer, recently weighed in on the possibility of entering the ring. The NBA All-Star appeared on All the Smoke podcast, I'm guessing, and discussed the SummerSlam tryout.
I'll say this as Swerve Strickland's podcast.
Okay. I said be up for competing in wrestling. You can check out some of the highlights below. Go ahead.
Well, look at all the other basketball players that came in here. You got Omos now, who's like, he was pushed heavily by men. Triple H don't have use for that man.
Take off to the great white north. I'm sorry to get that in. That was silly.
Hell, look at Last Legend in NXT. Like, she's horrible. She's still super ass green.
Jay Cargo. She's dope.
Oh. You got one success story probably out of all of them.
I'll give you another bad one. You ready? And we were at the venue of his match against Taker. Jai Gonzalez.
Oh God! Probably one of the worst WrestleMania matches ever. Not only did you lose by DQ, you chloroformed the guy.
He had a muscle suit.
You chloroformed the guy.
His muscles were drawn on.
Do you know how illegal that is? You chloroform somebody in like the 90s? Like, did you think of that? Like, you literally took a towel, put something in it, and covered that man's mouth. Like, no. That's a Me Too movement case today waiting to happen. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I ain't gonna knock Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is athletic. He still stays in great shape. I mean, maybe he probably can put the work in and get it. Last Legend to me, she just look like super green. Like, she needs some more time. Like she need to be on level up. Like, on that show.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But.
Dang, you done leveled up there?
I'm sorry. I'm being honest. I mean, I'm not shitting on her. I'm being honest.
Yes, you are.
I'm being wrestling with your skills. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like I love Nikita Lyons, but outside of like 5 moves and more than 6 minutes in the match, she's useless. Like, she can't go. Like, watch one of her matches. That shit go more than 5 minutes. She gonna either look lost, gonna keep doing the same moves, gonna be that little punch thing or like the kick. That's it. Like, she really got popular because of her finisher, which is that nice ass split that she used to hit. And then she's a thick ass chick, banging chick. And everybody they put up nice name. Like, now she can wrestle her. She can probably get better. She just a little green right now. I mean, Tiffany Stratton, I felt the same way, but she got better. She worked on her craft. She don't be on NXT no more now. I don't know why.
They probably working on bringing her up.
Why? Yeah, but other than that, though, I mean, I'm just saying, like, not shitting on people is just what I see when I watch every week. Like, it's my opinion.
Listen, if you shitting on somebody, you shitting on them. It's fine.
No, I'm not shitting on them. I mean, it's not. I'm not shitting on nobody because I actually watch. Like, I watch your match. I feel like you can have potential. Like, I think the Kid Lyons could be a big thing. Like, she can. She already got the charisma. She there. Like, I just feel like she need to add more to her arsenal. She remind me of Mandy Rose. Remember Mandy Rose first started? Like, she wasn't that good. No, my fault. Not Mandy. Wrong blind. She can be Liv Morgan. Remember how shitty Liv Morgan was when she first started?
Mm-hmm.
The Kid Lyons, if she put the work in, she can be like Liv Morgan. Like, she can be up there. I don't know that much about Lash Legend. I'm sorry. I just don't see it with her. She's charismatic as hell. Like, I love that y'all got her with Pretty Deadly. That's some good shit. They up there cracking jokes. They cracking about getting pedicures and shit. I'm just saying. But like, she's charismatic as hell though. So maybe you can work on her like that. I don't know. Just some thoughts. Aside, I'm rambling here. Sorry about that, but that's just my opinion though. Kid Lyons, I can see her getting there. Lash Legend got a lot more work I feel like she needs to do. But it can be done though. It can be done. Look at some of the people now. We say Liv Morgan. Hell, Naomi. She's on that same boat too. But put the work in, you get there. You know?
We'll see. I feel you.
I'm not having much faith in Lash Legend though. But just saying.
So Dwight Howard can see himself being there. I guess the rest of his quotes really don't matter that much. So.
Yeah, we'll see if you put the work in.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, one more thing. I forgot one thing.
We got one more. See if you bring it up before I do.
No, this might be something different. We did a show talking about the stats of Gabe Stevenson. Well, apparently he had a heart procedure or something. Why he haven't been like seen on TV or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he haven't been seen at all. You know, people was wondering where he's been at. Like his brother's killing it on NXT. His younger brother's killing it on NXT. But that's it though. That's it. Last story. Nothing major.
There was a new show that debuted by The Rock and the guys who started Dark Side of the Ring called Tales from the Territory.
Oh, yes.
So we wanted to talk about it real quick.
Review, yes.
Because they had an episode, and on that particular episode...
by the way, I didn't know the episode.
There's a wild slap nuts appearance. There's a wild slap nuts.
Jeff Jarrett.
So
ARRET Jeff Jarrett.
So you didn't have to go that damn far.
Well, you took the wild slap nut from me.
So he
I had to go somewhere with it.
So he's hosting this show. And
I think he was just hosting that territory.
That particular episode, maybe,
yeah.
I guess. So anyway, so his father was on it, and his father had a problem with this guy who was in another like wrestling company, tried to pull a fast one on him and like stick him up in the ring for real by sending like a shooter at him.
He tried to take his company underneath. He tried to take the company from under Jarrett, and Jarrett got wind to it. So once Jarrett got wind to it and basically like, no, it's not about to happen. He basically tried to send this guy to intimidate him, man. He
went Seth Rollins on him for real, like he did on Rey Mysterio, and ripped his eyeball out. Right in the middle of the ring, and they showed that shit, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a couple episodes. Man, I just love some of the episodes. They was like, like some of the funny ones. Like when Jerry King Lawler said, this one fan was like, he said this one fan had a brick, and he said Jerry he pointed on Jerry like, I swear, he like, you throw this brick at my car, he said, I will run your ass over. I will run you down with this car. And he said he get in the car. He said the fan threw the brick, and then he said I started spewing up in my car. I'm like, oh, like yeah, some
four flats already. The fan.
That's the thing that got me. Like yeah, then I had 4 flat tires. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then the one joke I love is talking about the joke with a young Jeff Jarrett, when he's talking about they put like the powder and like in his trunk, no, King.
Tiger Bomb
in his trunks, and he's about to go and change to his underwear, and then King told him, like, nah, they wasn't him. And then he said that he wound up putting him in his bag take some of the tire bomb, put them in their other one, and with Jared and his partner's underwear. And he said he started playing like in the mirror, like doing his hair and busting that like scratching everything. They started laughing. And they said we were driving. They said driving like a 6-hour drive, something like that.
Yeah.
And they said all of a sudden he like, my ass itch. He like, what? He like, my ass itch. And then so they started scratching. So they got up in the middle of the road, took off all their clothes, threw them down there. Knew that they basically got duped. I was like, oh my god, like some of the story. I love shit like that because that's somewhere they can just talk and just tell old wrestling stories for like ever.
There's the one that said the problem they had with the territories is that people knew you because they lived around the area. So like the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart had a match where he was getting carried out and somebody had shot him with like a blow dart in his ass. Yeah. So he said he thought he got like stung by a bee or some shit. So he went to the back and was like, man, I got a bee sting in my ass. And he was like, no, you don't. And he pulled it out and there was a little pool of blood and shit. So since it drew blood, he had to get like a tetanus shot and shit. But then every match after that for like the next month, he would see the guy in the crowd. So he would get shook. He would get shook. So that was crazy.
That's just some of the stories, and then the last one was the symphony match that they had. That was awesome. Like
with Slapnuts versus the guy that used to manage Jake Hager when he was in WWE and he was doing that We the People shit.
Yeah, Dutch Martell. Yeah, he was Dev Culture then though, but yeah, Dutch Martell. So that was awesome. Great show, man. Awesome show. Vice killed it with Dark Side. They got a bunch of Dark Side I gotta start catching them on. They got Dark Side of Comedy I gotta start watching. They did season 2 of Dark Side of the 90s. I gotta catch
that. I gotta finish catching the rest of season 1 and all of that. And then you got Dark Side of Comedy. I'm not hip to that. I want to get hip to that. I want to finish watching Dark Side of Football.
Yeah, Dark Side of Comedy I got a lot of Dark Side I gotta get used to. Any other news before we run to these shows real quick?
Nope, let's do it.
Try to speed it on, get up out of here.
Yeah, let's try to get through in the next hour or so.
All right, so the go home show for Extreme
By the way,
Rules.
real quick. Extreme Rules we're gonna cover next week. We both got busy this weekend, so we couldn't do it. So we will leave our predictions at the end of the show that we both came up with. But
I'm sorry, I worked 16 hours on Saturday.
Yeah, as far as covering the show, we're gonna do that next week.
Rest. All right, so Judgment Day starts this match out. Finn Balor says he's going to beat Edge so bad that Edge will quit right then and there. Priest promises to take anybody else out. Who comes? Dominic grabs the mic and he gets a chant. Who's your daddy? Daddy. He said he hates Ray. And I like that he calls him Ray. He called him Ray. Like, he don't even say that. He said, I hate Ray. So, like, just put him by his government. Not a government name, but, like, basically. And he said that he has a new family thanks to Judgment Day. Balor said he could have taken Edge out last week. Wrestling said this last night, but he said no. Last week he had to correct himself. And then he's offered the Olive Branch AJ Styles interrupt. We get Judgment Day versus AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. This match is basically a brawl. We come back from break. Ray gets sent to a corner. Balor hits 2 amigos. Then does the Eddie dance. Hits a third. Ray gets dropped into the announce table. Finn grabs a chin lock. Ray slips away. That brings Styles back. The clean house. Balor low bridges Styles. We go to another break. Priest comes back with a calf crusher attempt. Gets a atomic drop. Rhea pulls Ray off the apron. Dominic gets between them. With Dominic dropping to his knees. Then Rhea hits Ray, and then coup de grace finishes Styles at the 10 minutes and 42 seconds. At the end of this match, AJ blames Ray for not being there, basically pushes him down. Ray leaves and Judgment Day come to beat up AJ Styles. Bobby Lashley comes out next. Said he's happy to be U.S. champion for 3 months. He's ready for anyone to come after the title next week. Out comes Mustafa Ali. And he wants a chance right now, so Lashley blows him up, but Ali spins him around and pokes at his chest. That's enough for him. Before we get to our match, Sami Zayn, Jimmy J, Solo Sikoa are backstage with Sami telling a story about a couch being on fire. Jay comes in there all serious and said they're here to tell everyone that Roman Reigns will be here next week for the season premiere. They run to the Street Profits. back to our non-title match. Lashley basically is throwing Ali around, running his shoulder into the corner, vertical suplex. Ali slips out of a power slam, hits a super kick, tornado DDT, suicide diver since led to the announce table as we come back from break. But he hits Ali so hard, it basically blasted the shit out of Ali. Lashley sends him into the corner, hit the downward spiral for a 2. Ali shoves him down enough to hit a 450, but he hits it on his arm. So basically, like, he hit the 450 on Lashley's arm. So, like,
He didn't do shit.
Lashley is fine enough, basically, to hit a one-arm spine buster for a 2. Send Ali head further to the post. Lashley does it again, sends him hard over the barricade. Ali gets back in at 9. So Lashley just spears the shit out of him, then puts the hurt lock on him. It knocks him out. Ali didn't tap. So Lashley wins the non-title match. Post-match, Lashley is going to help Ali up, but Seth Rollins comes in for a stomp, then another stomp on the title. Rollins throws a stomp in on Ali, who's on the floor. Rollins is still in the ring, and they show a clip of his brawl with Matt Riddle after the show went off the air last week. He said he's ready for Riddle on Saturday and see a video of the fight pick. For those who watch NXT, there were 2 fight pick matches on NXT. I think one was Timothy Thatcher versus Riddle was one of them. So he said he's ready to face Riddle right now, but he said they're not allowed to fight tonight. But Riddle is ready to kill him on Saturday. They argue over whose side Daniel Cormier is going to be on. For Riddle reminds Rollins take the cheap shot, saying that he can't see his kids anymore. Rollins mentions child support.
I did see a story this week where he acknowledged that his personal life is in shambles.
Yeah.
So this shit is true.
He mentions child support. Then Riddle said something about his breath, which was, I don't know. More serious, Riddle bringing up his lack of titles or how he hasn't main evented in a WrestleMania, but his wife sure has of lately. I mean, you throw jabs at this family, like, well, I can throw jabs at your wife, especially more successful than you. Cormier pops up on screen, introduced himself. It's crazy because Cormier did not get a pop at all. Like, the crowd was like 50-50.
They don't know.
Yeah,
it's so weird that
like 50-50.
It's so weird how the WWE universe is insulated to just main roster shit. Like, it's cats that coming from NXT they don't know. Like, that's your own company.
Yeah. So the crowd was like 50-50. My fault. Like you said, those who probably knew who Cormier was probably were cheering like, yeah, them Cormier. Then other one's probably like, who? I don't know who that is. Like, but he pops up and Edge. He respects them both, but he said that aside, he's calling it down the line. Candice LeRae gets a pep talk from Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss. That QR code pops up again. Miz is on the phone and he wants guaranteed that Dexter Lumis is out next week because of his birthday celebration.
Wait, hold on real quick. I heard that he had beef with Gritty. Miz. I don't know if this is an online thing. Extreme Rules was in Philly, right? So maybe this happened on that show or something or around it, but I saw something where apparently he had a beef with Gritty. I don't know if he tried to do the Gritty and was doing it wrong, like Mike Gesicki, or I don't know, but I saw that. So maybe I got to look into that. Go ahead. I'll probably pull it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why he
had beef with Grit.
I don't know why he got beef with... I mean, he got beef with Justin Jefferson then, though. Because he went started, bro. Next, Lumis opened the door behind him, but Miz missed it, and he also likes to know where Tommaso Ciampa is. You haven't seen him in a while. I think they say he's been hurt, though. Next, we get Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. Damage Control is here. LeRae basically tears her down, gets a neck snap, basement drop kick to the 2. Kai sends her into the turnbuckle. Kai gets cooking out with a dive. We go to break. Kai has come back, setting up them patented kick that she does. A scorpion kick corners LeRae, but she gets a shot to the face. Then a Black Widow has Kai in trouble, but she drives LeRae up the corner, breaks it up. Kai goes up, but get caught with a superplex. That's enough to dry Io Sky up for a distraction, which allowed Bayley to drop LeRae right to Kai for the roll up at the 10-minute mark. So, Johnny Gargano runs into Miz, who is out. Gargano pokes. This is the part that's funny. So Gargano like pokes him, like, hey, Miz wake up, and then it's a drawing of himself and Dexter Lumis on his chest. Miz run off scared. Next we get a contract signing. Contract not to pass of Antonio Inoki. Next we get Otis versus Johnny Gargano. Gable is here with Otis, and so is all three is on commentary. Gargano gets some forearm but get dropped to the face. A shoulder backbreaker has Gargano in more choke, so he slips out, hits Otis for insecurity, but runs into a T-bone suplex. Otis missed the Vader bomb. Gargano strikes away, sets up this nice-ass DDT. Super kick on Otis, who rolls outside, so Gargano basically takes him down outside. He pauses to beat up Theory, then hits the tornado DDT on the apron. Theory gets a briefcase shot though, and basically, he walks to the World's Strongest Slam, and Otis gets the win at 5 minutes and 32 seconds. So, good. I love match. The main feud of this is going to be Gargano versus Theory.
And just keep that in mind. Miz gritty when you watch Extreme Rules. I pulled the story up. Since we're not going to talk about Extreme Rules till next week, I'll save it for next week. Just remember that.
He did it during the show? During the pay-per-view?
It happened during the pay-per-view.
Oh, my God. Okay. Post-match beam, but out comes Braun Strowman for the save, and we get Strowman for the save. Next, we get Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable. Braun Strowman basically throws him over the rope to start the match. Then we come back from break. Strowman been knocked over by the announce table. It was by Otis who got ejected. Gable, man, this is crazy. So he actually hit a German suplex on Braun Strowman.
Damn.
Yeah, little motherfucker strong, man. Like, cross arm breaker over the ropes was broken up with so much power. Gable needed to go for the eye to break it up. Drop kick to the knees. Strowman is down again, but Gable missed the moonsault, boots him, power bomb pin at 7 minutes. So, next, Bobby Lashley swears revenge against Seth Rollins. Corey Graves in the ring for the contract signed between Bayley and Bianca Belair. Bayley said that she don't have the rest of damage control out here, but she's having a great day. She'll make history on Saturday because the latter is symbolic of her entire career. And I love the way she explained this. She's like, look, everybody throws the ladder at me because I can have backup out here and I can go. She's like, no. She's like, the ladder symbolized everything I had to go through. It symbolized me having to struggle to even get a spot on NXT. And then I finally got there. I still wasn't getting respected. So I finally won the title. Then I finally won the title, but I was the last one to get called up to main roster. So I had to fight my way back from there. It wasn't until I realized that I didn't need the fans that I basically realized this is who I am. She's like, unlike you who had everything handed to you, and then the next part of Put My Love, she was like, you know what? She's like, you are like me. You know why you like me? She's like, you like me because of the simple fact that, let's see, the fans love you, they love me. She said you got your hair, everything like that. She's like, I started that. How many people was wearing ponytails on the side of their head with headbands around them? She's like, well, I realized, so I got rid of all that shit that I didn't need nobody. And she basically was making the ladder seem like it was an empowerment. Basically. She signs the contract. Then Bianca Belair cuts her off and basically said, it's funny because the contract had a QR code on the back, by the way. And she said how Bayley is showing her true colors. She said that wasn't nobody ever you just showed your true colors. And she said that thing about like, I don't need nobody behind me because I'm always ready. I stay ready because I'm the best. She said she gonna show. She said you're not smart. She said it took you a whole year to come up with this plan. And basically after that, she said that you can call her Champ after Extreme Rules. Baby was like, yeah, by the way, we supposed to go out and do something. She said like, oh yeah, go out to dinner. And then you see Io Sky Dakota Kai getting beating up Asuka and Alexa Bliss backstage, which Bayley basically fucking yoked her over the damn table. Belair fights her, I run to the back. where apparently Asuka has a chair wrapped around her leg, so they apparently took out her Asuka's leg. And then Alexa Bliss looks into the camera and says she wants Sky tonight. Next we get Angelo Dawkins versus Solo Sikoa. We get the Bloodline is with him, minus Roman Reigns, of course, he's not here. Montez Ford, whose foot and ankle was in the cast. So, the Dawkins, fast start here. Dawkins sends him outside. He grabs the chair. Bloodline cuts him off because that's a disqualification. Dawkins finding out of a nerve hole, but he walks into a Samoan drop. Another Samoan drop. Belly suplex. The running Umaga attack in the corner. Dawkins gets a kick to the head. Come back, running spinning splash. Silencer drop for 2. Sammy and Jey gets on the argument for a distraction. The distraction turns into an argument. This means Solo drop kick gets very, very delayed. Back up. Dawkins knocks him outside with a big flip. Where he does his big flip onto the Bloodline. Solo used that distraction to hit the spinning wheel kick and the spinning Solo for the pin. So, I like the way he's been basically getting wins since he came up here. Austin Theory is happy with Otis. He said he's trying to take out Johnny Gargano. Edge is in the ring now. Yeah, I realized this. Oh, yeah, this was almost over. Okay.
Mm-hmm. On the stage, I see clearly.
Huh?
On the stage, I see clearly.
Ed said since he came back, he basically has been adamant on the bill of the character being taken away. He said he was told he could never wrestle again. That wasn't his choice. Now he decided to make it his choice. He said he's 46 years old with a taking a toll on his family. He didn't have a family before, but now his daughters can see how tough it is on him. Out come Judgment Day, who said, keep coming back no matter what, how often he beats them. He says back against the wall, that makes him dangerous. He said you can ask Foley, Taker, Orton what that means because I'm coming out swinging. Balor better be ready for war because Edge is. Next we get our main event, which is Alexa Bliss versus Io Sky. Of course, everybody else is out here for their corner sides, minus Asuka, for the faces. Bliss basically starts off, but she gets took off a dragon screw. Bliss kicks her back down. Flip splash for 2. Kai gets the throat snap in across the top rope for a distraction. Sky's in trouble. Hits a quick butterfly backbreaker. She misses the moonsault. Bliss grabs the DDT. Twisted Bliss connects, so Bay distracts the referee, which brings Bianca Belair over. But it's a dive from Bliss that takes everybody out. Sky runs over Bliss, hits the moonsault for the pin. Post-match, beatdown is on. Asuka with a kendo. So funny. Asuka comes down here with this kendo stick. And you knew it wasn't gonna help. She limping down the thing with the kendo stick. It's like, yeah, no, you're not gonna. Sorry, you're A for effort, but no, you're not helping them. They all basically get beat down. Then the ladder is brought down. They crush it around Bliss's ribs, and then it's like a long beat down. Then at the end, Damage Control is posing with the titles on top of the ladder. So that is the end of Raw. Now I get into NXT. I'm done for the day.
A lot to read. Good.
Halloween Havoc is coming up. Let's start with Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly, go ahead. Do yo.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's the skill on thing for Pretty Deadly. For when we do Pretty Deadly. Dressed up as very typical British men, they have red rose and powder wig on. Yeah, they went full.
Why?
I don't know. They talk about how back in the day some pilgrims came from. Oh, I know why. I think Columbus Day is probably coming up. I'm assuming. I don't know. They said how some pilgrims came from the United Kingdom. Prince was like, hello, and as a result, they're all here. They said the other teams in the Performance Center are good, but they are boring, including the damn boring brothers in cheap denim. He's talking about the Creed and Jensen and Briggs. He said they should be tag team champions all the time. Out comes the Brawling Brutes. He said they are tired of Pretty Deadly, who's been complaining every day. Pretty Deadly claimed they were hijacked by Kevin Nash. Kevin Patrick, Kevin Owens. But start naming off Kevin's. Pretty Daily is one. Of course, Pretty Daily is always funny. First, Alba Fire attack Toxic Attraction, so the 6-woman tag match is off. With basically Fire and Mandy Rose being taken out, so it's a tag match. We get Carmelo Hayes versus Oren Mensah again. Hayes gets the win here. I mean, basically was Trick Williams out here. Mensah got to a quick start. Hayes with a cheap shot. More back and forth. A mischarge basically is what caused Mensah this match. And then a top row ass kick finished to win for Hayes. Brutus Creed is nowhere near to compete because of his shoulder. Duke Hudson comes in the last. That basically just get him a match with Julius Creed. And that is on site, by the way. North American title match. Qualifying match. Hayes is on commentary here. Wagner basically throws him around with power. Chase come back with some right hand. Robert Stone off of distraction. He gets taken down by Thea Hale, which was funny. It's funny when Robert Stone gets his ass kicked. Chase grabs a roller for a 2, get called Fidelity Valley bomb for the pin. So, that's it. After that, Wesley jumped Carmelo Hayes. Sanga with Frazier in this match, a qualifying match. With Frazier gone, we get a appearance. Veer Mahan comes in and he stares down Sanga. So, Veer Mahan is on NXT now.
Oh, that's where he's been at. All right.
Last Legend says she's ready for Wendy Chu. Grayson Waller said he got security ready for to deal with Apollo's Crews Visions. Yeah. Last Legend versus Wendy Chu. Chu basically goes after her quick for the start. Legend spins her into a backbreaker. She misses the elbow. Chu strikes away. Some more kicks. Puts Legend down. Chu goes up top for the Vader bomb for the win. Last Legend match. See what I'm saying? Just saying. Wesley is ready for Halloween Havoc, but wants Grayson Waller first. He has to settle a match for invading Stacks. Yeah. Dallas said they're going to be back and they're coming for Braun Breaker. Kaden Carr and Katana Chance know they're different but work well together. We get Toxic Attraction versus Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. This is the #1 contendership for a future women tag team title shot, being that Alba Fire and Mandy Rose been taken off. Lyons powered down Gigi down to the corner, so it starts versus Jey. Stark basically runs her down without no problem. Dallin comes in, which basically earns a spinning springboard crossbody. Toxic Attraction gets taken outside. It's sent outside. Lyons is in trouble, fights away to freedom. Hot tag to Stark. Stark comes in with a super kick. German suplex on Dallin. Jane gets the clean house for a quick charge, but she walks to the flipping knee from Stark, which sets into the split splash for Nikita Lyons. So next, Dragunov is ready to get some more gold because he said he fought hard to become champion and he never lost it. He said he's ready for JD and Braun if that's what it takes to get back to where he wants to be. Then we get the Jason Waller effect. This shit was so funny because he couldn't get shit in on his own show. Yeah, he said, "Can I talk? Can I talk? Can I talk?" It was just like, it basically just like he was just like a mediator, trying to mediate for two people that just can't stand each other. And it's just like, well, I ain't nothing I can do. It's like they forced me here. Anyway, they talk about how they want to fight each other. Perez said they want to come to eat together and be what the 4 horsewomen were to them. Jay said, "You're showing your true colors to Waller." Interrupt that in 2 weeks. They're going to get to pick your poison match. I mean, they get to select each other's opponents. There's going to be a spin the wheel, make the deal match. Waller goes up on stage to spin the wheel. And then basically, soon as he leaves, they start fighting. So he got to come back in and break them up. Then Apollo Crews comes on from underneath. And his eyes are red like in Crews Vision last week. So... And then we get to Schism yelling at somebody in a red hoodie. Said the person felt that mission need to be better. Who cares? I'm tired of Joe Gacy and them. Duke Hudson versus Julius Creed. You remember he had a title match against Braun Breaker. He lost in what, like 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Guess how long it took him to lose this match to Julius Creed?
2 minutes.
48 seconds. Suplex, basement clothesline, that's it. That's it.
He got wrecked.
After that, he put a beat down on. Brutus Creed comes out to put a beat down too. Out comes Kim Pop on the platform, so it's going to be different. He said, if Julius can beat him at Halloween Havoc, Brutus gets another match. But Brutus just saying, I need 5 minutes with him. Kim said, Brutus' career is on the line at Halloween Havoc. With Brutus' success on Julius' behalf, Julius makes it better by saying it's an ambulance match. Why?
Because that made sense.
JD said he's ready for Dragon off from Braun Breaker Halloween Havoc. Hank Walker's security buddies fire him up. Quincy Elliott comes in and does some dancing. Yes. By the way, Hank Walker is the security guy that won a match last week on NXT and earned himself a contract after he won that match. He gets Zion Quinn. Arm drag brings him down. Quinn is back with some shot. Broken chin lock. Walker hits a loop dash press. Quinn runs into more trouble. Eventually he gets control. Hits a running fist which finished Walker at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. This is the part that gets me. Okay. So, after the match, he's getting beat down by Zion Quinn. Until Quincy Elliott comes out here and makes the save. And then spanks Walker after what's the name? Cameron Grimes walks up to the hooded person with a warning about Gacy. Basically skids him, beats Grimes down, and praises the hooded one for doing well. We don't know who the person in the hoodie is, no identity. Briggs and Jensen, Blade and Enor for giving the brawling brutes a pep talk, but getting to their own argument. The brutes said either team can get a shot when they win the titles, but get serious. Breaker said he's ready for Halloween, but Javier Bernal comes up and says it's a bad idea, and Breaker isn't that good. Well, that means you basically just set yourself up for ass kicking next week. Tag team title match: Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, boy.
Wilson hammers on Hollins for the start, but can't get him up for a suplex. Dropkick butterfly connection on Wilson. Butch comes in, bends fingers like he normally do. Prince comes in, gets dropped with a clothesline. Wilson eats some the forearms to the chest. Basically, it's piece of the boreum is what he calls it. Champs are finding out of trouble. Butch is finding out of a chin lock. He gets driven to the corner. Butch slips away again, makes the tackle. Holland, who comes in and clean house. Powerbomb to Wilson. Butch comes back in, who misses the running knee. Prince tosses Wilson at Butch for a nice code breaker. Holland have to make the save. Everything breaks down. Holland sends Prince to the outside. Butch hits the cross arm breaker on Wilson. Prince makes the save by stacking Wilson up for 2, but Butch is back, hits better in. Prince gets a foot on the rope. Holland sends him outside. Kick to the head to the Northern Grit. Connect. But out comes Imperium to make the distraction. Prince used that distraction. Butcher to the apron. Spilt milk. Pretty Deadly retain your titles.
Yeah, boy.
Brawling continues backstage. And then after that, Idris, Norfe, and Malik Blade, and then Briggs and Brooke Jensen come off the stair at the champ at the end of the show. So shout out to the fact that they're giving Norpe and Blade probably a chance to get at the titles. They probably won't. Probably Jiggs and Brinson. Briggs and Jensen. And that is the end of NXT.
All right. Moving on over here. All right, so we are now on my half of the show, which is basically the rest of this show. It is, basically. Let's be real. All right, so let's talk about NXT. So over on NXT.
AEW?
NXT. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I say NXT, because you were just talking about NXT. I guess it threw me off. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, though, pal.
Nah, it's okay.
AEW. Yeah, boy. Over here. Sorry, I was distracted a little bit. Put my distraction away. Looking at the fantasy leagues and such. So started off with MJF, who recently had problems last week with his on mic showdown with Wheeler Judah. Well, actually, in the last 2 weeks, remember previously talked about how he pushed over Tony Shivani. Tony Shivani has a funny one this week, y'all.
Messing with Tony like that, man. Shame on you.
So they start off with the match. William Regal on commentary doesn't think much of MJF, even if fans seem to like him. Wheeler sends him into the corner to start off with. We hit Fargo strut for some old school flair. A drop kick just annoys MJF, so he takes Yuta down and grabs a chin lock. Back up. MJF grabs a tilt-a-whirl face plant. We take a break. Back with Yuta whipping him hard into the corner, grabbing a small package for 2. Yuta grabs a rolling German suplex for 2, but his Hurricane is counting to a powerbomb onto his knees. There's a pinfall reversal sequence for several near falls, and each go to do it again for a bonus. Back up, double chin lock puts him down, which is good for standing ovation. MJF takes this. MJF takes this up for a super tombstone, but it's a counter to super hurricane. Yuta goes for a splash, but MJF rolls away and flips him off. That's fine with Yuta. Just a heck of a dive out to a splash for 2 anyway. Yuta tries to seatbelt, but gets pulled into the salt of the earth for the tap out around 15 minutes. Good match. Post-match, Yuta offers MJF a handshake. MJF considers it, only to have Lee Moriarty come in and jump him out of nowhere. Cue Stokely Hathaway with the Dynamite Diamond ring, which he gives him. He reluctantly puts it on. Looks like he's ready to load up the steel on Yuta with it, which caused William Regal to come down the ring with a pair of brass knuckles, and he keeps snarling at him like, "Come on, come on, try it, come on, try it."
Brass knuckles he used to have all the time.
MJF completely walks off and gets hauled out. Next, they have Jericho and Sammy Guevara, a video of them and the recent interactions with Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia. A little bit of preview there. Jericho appreciates society isn't happy with Garcia, and they promise to punish him. 2.0 is especially butthurt by this. Like, we brought you in with us. Now you want a taste? So Coke Dealer's not happy. Darby Allin match next with Jay Lethal. Your typical Jay Lethal match and Darby Allin match went back and forth. Filling off process started with Lethal sending Darby Allin to the floor. Allin back in with the springboard high ankle arm drag for a standoff. Lethal gets smart by going to the knee, but gets caught in a scorpion death drop for a double knockdown. We take a break and come back with Lethal laying it to the knees, the Super Dragon screw leg whip. Lethal slaps on the figure 4 as you might have expected, but Allin makes it to the ropes as you also might have expected. The leg is final enough for 2. Off of a cold red, you get Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh come down in the ring, which ended up causing the distraction for Lethal because he sent him to the back to begin with. They came out and said, "I don't want you out here," which gets him into the coffin, the Last Supper pin at the trade pin reversals for a while, about 10 minute and 15 second mark of the match. Darby Allin wins. After the match, he tries to force shaking hands with Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal didn't want to at first, but out of gritted teeth, basically, he did. Much to the annoyance of Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh, which I'm sure as they were going through the back, Sanjay Dutt was like, "What are you doing, Bubba?" Next up, Brian Cage and the Embassy have a video showcasing their antics and how the Gates of Agony have been undefeated for the last couple of weeks since joining Ring of Honor. That's a month, I should say. Brian Cage is coming in talking shit before his match he has with Wardlow. Thought this would be a great Hawks fight. It ended up being a pretty good Hawks fight as I thought it would be when I saw it on paper. Went about 10 minutes. Let's get into it. At the end of their preview video before the match, we had the leader of the Embassy. Oh, I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head. But he started singing this real some version of the song like, "How did it go? We in the money. We in the money." So that was geek. Wardlow versus Brian Cage was next. Prince Nana is his name. He's challenging Prince Nana coming in the ring with Cage. They fight to the corner and start with Cage hitting and running a clothesline, not being able to drop him. A Hurricane Rana sends Wardlow into the ropes. This might have been the most athletic version of a Hawks fight I've ever seen, considering that both men are humongous, muscle build wise. Both can hit Hurricane Ranas at ease, which they both did.
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage, he went so far as to hit a Hurricane Rana and then turn that bitch into a 619. Which got actually countered into a Wardlow caught him and then just dropped him like with a body press drop kind of, or World's Strongest Slam maybe a little bit. Tried to go for the powerbomb simply, but it countered. Coming back from break, Wardlow fights out of the corner, hitting a whisper in the wind of all things. Series of suplex, rock cage, but he catches
him whisper in the wind.
Yeah, exactly, and dude's like 260. The series of suplexes, rock cage, but he catches Wardlow on top with the kick to the head. Apron suplex gets 2. Wardlow's fighting up to come back with a spine buster, not to be outdone. His cage with the F5. But tries his Cage hits an F5 and tries to powerbomb of his own. Wardlow headbutts a few times, then hits his forearm movement powerbomb symphony. After hitting that clothesline, when he comes back way from here and swings from his fucking ankles on the clothesline to retain his title at about 10 minutes. Post-match, Gates of Agony come in to jump him along with Prince Nana. This sends out Samoa Joe to help with the cavalry. Also send out FTR, who have to stare down with the Gates of Agony. Is going to lead to a match with them that we're talking about later on this show at Battle of the Belts 4 between the Gates of Agony and FTR, which I reported was probably going to happen months ago when Tully Blanchard was the manager of Gates of Agony at the time, before he left the company and now it's left over to Prince Nana. So I like that they came back around to a full circle. I wish they kind of would have did it a different way, but either way, we're here.
With Tully,
it would have been more dramatic. Yeah. Ladies still in the 9 o'clock spot. Sorry. But good match, great match actually. With a surprise winner, Britt Baker had a cut up promo before the match saying Saraya hasn't been cleared by to wrestle, so this is still her house. Toni Storm, Athena, and Willow Nightingale taking on your girl Penelope. She's a super bad girl. For Serena Deeb, my chick, and Jamie Hayter.
Broken nose Hayter.
Seemingly getting broken nose every other week. Saraya is here to cancel out Rebel and Britt Baker, who are also on the side of the ring of the heels. Willow and Hayter start things off, but it's off to Serena, Athena and Ford instead. Athena hits the basement drop kick and Ford is back up. She hits her with a nana boo boo in the middle of the match, which is pretty funny. She did like the spider walk to a clothesline she did, and then when she came back up and pushed her out the way back to the road, she hit her with the nana boo boo. So I thought that was funny. It's off to Storm next. It runs Deeb down and pounds away with forearms to the back. Deeb is sent to the corner for some running charges, including Storm's running hip attack. Deeb is right back up and takes out Storm's leg as we go to break. Back from break. We see Storm fighting out of a chin lock and a forearm right away from Deeb. Everything breaks down. Deeb leg by Storm and suplexes Athena with Hayter doing some of the same things to Willow Nightingale. Back up, Storm gets over for the tag, off to Nightingale for a spine buster on Hayter. Rebel loads up for a crush shot, but Saraya makes a save, breaks all that up, so there's no interference from the outside heels. We hit a parade of secondary finishers until Ford gets off a quick 2 count on Nightingale. Ford handspring elbow is broken up. Dr. Bomb gives Nightingale the pin on Ford at 9 minutes 29 seconds. Good to see her get a win. Good to see them bringing in fresh blood to AEW to help build up that division, because after this, I'll talk about the post-match in a second, but also after this later in the show, they also had a promo with Madison Rain talking about bringing up new talents such as Sky Blue. Sky Blue started talking. They were cut off by Ty Mello and Anna JAS. They're going to have a tag match on Rampage.
Let's stop talking about Sky Blue. No.
But that's not my point. My point is that they're bringing up some fresh blood. They're not just bringing up the same people. They're trying to
bringing up a fresh
new
jobber,
people.
okay?
I'm just saying.
I'm saying too. She's a fresh jobber.
I'm just saying.
I put Sky Blue in the match. She's losing. That's what they're doing. You go out there and make them look good. Get some moves off.
And Willow Nightingale gets a pin. Good for her.
I'm happy for Willow Nightingale.
This leads to her getting a title match later in the week, also on Battle on the Belts against Jade Cargill. This match goes about 9 minutes 29 seconds. Post match, you get a big stare down with the heel trying to come in the ring to do the jump beatdown game, but Saraya breaks all that up, getting Britt Baker's face, throwing her out the way, doing a low super kick to Rebel. Roosh and Jose the Assistant are pleased with Private Party, showcasing videos where they could have came in and jumped Hangman Adam Page when Roosh faced him recently, but they chose not to either time, and they said, do your job. We know Matt Hardy's been interfering with your contract and tampering. We have the lawyers on speed dial. Do the right thing and cheat for us. That's basically what they were saying. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing and help us win matches. Do your job.
Hold on. You hear that? Coming around the corner. Yeah, fuck Tony Giovanni!
Skip on! Oh, we got the skip on, Tony. Tony.
He had a running narrative this week. So before they had
Poor
a
Tony.
segment, which was the National Scissoring Day, which is a celebration of the Acclaim winning tag titles with Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. He says, let's get ready for National Scissoring Day. He says, I'm ready to scissor his ass. No.
No.
So Tony loved this whole segment. Let's go through it fast. I can't remember the rap, but the rap had was the Draymond Green part in this one, or was that on the next one? The next one. Okay, we'll get to that. So this one,
Look, he said something about Joe Biden.
he's talking about bringing together Republicans and Democrats together to scissor or whatever, and something about Joe Biden and shit. He was saying. So
He said Joe Biden said scissor me timber, and he didn't stutter.
yeah, they said that's the name of their move. They all did a conjoined scissor at one point. They had a podium.
Daddy ass was aggressive with his. He's like, yeah.
They kept talking about scissoring and wearing pink, and Caster talking about his daddy played for the '87 Redskins that won the Super Bowl. So this place means something to him. Then they were presented with not the key to the city, but the fucking scissors that are big enough to cut the fucking ribbon at a place. And since they're scissoring, that's their thing. Yeah. This brings out Swerve Strickland, who did not like any of this shit. He said it's one of the dumbest things I've ever fucking seen. Without the fucking part. He says, you know what? I'm tired of this. The only reason you guys even had the damn belts is because of daddy ass over there. He said, this is pathetic. This is the type of shit you want to show your kids. He said, it's bad enough. 25, 30 years ago, you had to get suspended from school doing cross chops. Now you're going to have suspended from school scissoring each other. And then he pulls a rock out of his pocket and he says, let me tell you something. Rock always beats scissors. So next week, I'm taking you on one-on-one. Daddy ass, to get your ass out of the way as we head back to getting those tag titles back. Swerve Strickland is not happy. This basically, he accepts, and the segment ends with them just scissoring again, basically. For the most part. That was the segment. By the way, Tony loved all of this. He said it was some of the most fun he's had in years without the scissoring and stuff. It was long, ridiculous, over the top. A lot of people had fun. Oh, wait. I forgot this part. So after Swerve came out, right, and after the challenge happens with Swerve, Mark Strickland comes out. So the Swerve starts talking like, see, this is what I've been talking about. This is why I've been trying to pass a petition to get this man out of AEW. So I think y'all need to team with me so we can handle this problem.
Oh my God.
And all they did was scissor me timbers to him after they knocked his ass down, and then they did a giant scissor to each other again. But this is the best part. When he came out, remember I told you saw Swerve had the Rock, right? Mm-hmm. Mark Turner comes out with the papers, and he's like, yeah, papers beat Rock. He was mad.
How you know you gonna tell me that when you trying to help, when you want me to help you? Help you.
Papers always beat Rock.
Oh,
so next was the segment I was talking about with Madison Rain, Ty Mello, Sky Blue, who you just decided to shit all over drizzlingly, and the J.
not shitting.
Next match, Hangman Page versus Roosh. Good match where they battle back and forth with each other. Hogan, the assistant, was here trying to get in some of his cheating spots, but didn't help him at the end of the day. Page shoved around the start on Roosh, had the bell from the threat of a buckshot lariat, headed outside, Roosh whipping away with the camera cord and sending Page into the barricade to head back in from break. Page comes back, hitting a slingshot dive on the Roosh before he gets back into the inside. Roosh stands on Page's shoulders on the corner, he gets taken away and gets taken down for two. Page has had it with him, hits a hard clothesline, rolls outside, hits the buckshot to finish off Roosh at about 9-minute mark. After the match, post-match, Private Party comes down, but John Moxley also comes out of the crowd, which makes them stop in their tracks. Said he's been waiting for this for 3 years. He said, we both taking out everybody here in AEW. We basically beating everybody but each other. Now, this is strange because I thought they would have faced each other by now, but apparently they haven't. So he said he's ready for this, and he said he makes it crazy as to be in his hometown arena where he used to smoke and drink under the bridge outside the arena. So he starts to walk away. He said, you get ready for that beating and we improve who the real man is around here. He starts to walk away, and Paige is like, fuck that. You said you're such a man. Let's do this shit now. And he throws the mic back down. Moxie rolls back into the ring. He says, you're a sweet kid, but you got a mouth that always says shit that gets you in trouble. You got 13 days. Watch your dirty fucking mouth. He rolls out of the ring. Willow Nightingale cuts a good promo. Backstage talking with Tony. He congratulates her on getting the pin. Says your career's on an upward trajectory. Not like you got a shot. He says, yeah, now I want to take a shot at that TBS title again. Which brings out, of course, the baddies, who has Layla Gray and my girl Kiera Hogan come in. Oh, period, da, da, da. And they're just running it off. And Willow Nightingale just goes like this. And pushes them back, and they both shut up. And she's like, I've had enough of this. Says, look, I understand I've lost. Excuse me. And Jade's there also, and Jade's like, I've already beaten you twice, once in singles and once in a tag match, so what you got now? And she says, look, I understand I've lost twice, but tonight gives me more confidence. Every dog has a fight, and every dog has his day. And maybe the third time is the charm, where I become the TBS champion. And she said, so she ended it some way, I can't exactly remember the phrase she said, but she actually was a pretty good promo for her when she walked off. Oh no, this is what she said. She ended it by saying, she says, every dog has a day, and maybe I might be number 39-0, or maybe I could be that 1 in 38-1. I was like, okay, good promo.
I like
Luchasaurus comes out, and I want you to guess how long this next match went when I tell you the opponent. Are you ready? Fuego del Sol.
Was it longer than Duke Hudson versus what's today?
No,
Oh God, what, like 15 seconds?
longer than that.
30?
23.
Oh,
A choke slam, something like a reverse AA finish Fuego off in 23 seconds.
God.
Post-match, Jungle Boy comes to the ring with the chair.
I thought AEW and WWE and NXT both just like, oh, we're just gonna have somebody get squashed, like
Completely.
God, yeah. No shit, no chance in hell.
Jungle Boy comes in with the chair to knock out Luchasaurus outside. He and Luchasaurus were best friends, and he's talking about that on mic. But Luchasaurus chose to be a Christian instead, and Jungle Boy's going to break him piece by piece. Luchasaurus will pick up the place and time, so and Christian decides, well, I'm going to pick next week in Toronto, in my hometown. We're not doing this in this dumpster fire of a place, talking about DC. Pac is ready to face Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta's pissed off that Pac cheated in the match using the ring bell hammer to knock out Orange Cassidy. And Pac's mad Orange Cassidy stolen him before the match. So he said, I was justified in doing what I did. So and then we have our main event. Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia taking on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Jericho and Garcia start things off with Jericho arm dragging him down. Garcia gets to the mat and he has a seat on Jericho's back with the cheap shot from Guevara. Lets the villains take over. It's off Danielson to clean house and send Jericho outside for the suicide dive to take a break. Back with Garcia hitting Super Spanish Fly for 2 on Danielson, then posing with Jericho. They look just so shots during the pose too. It's hilarious. Jericho crossbar. Oh, this is the best. So continuing on with the scissoring antics of Tony Schiavone from this episode. So Ian Riccaboni, the head announcer for Ring of Honor, is on this match since Chris Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion. And he happens to bring up like, so with this being National Scissoring Day, you scissored anybody lately, Ian? And Ian's like, on that note, I'd like to say happy anniversary to my lovely wife, Sarah, at home. A 10-year anniversary tomorrow. I love you, baby. I'll see you when I get home. And then Tony gonna have the nerve to be like, well, that was uncalled for. Like, fool, you asking the question. What are you talking about? Hey, you don't talk about trying to censor everybody. Because to me, the way you said it, if he would have just said no, you would have asked him to censor. I know you would have.
I look at it on second thought. I looked at like, you know what? The way he finessed that question, when he tried to change it up so bad, make sure like he was hiding something.
He did on that note.
Yeah. I'm trying to get hiding.
He was trying to sidestep that question.
Did a real good job of it. Hey, every time you throw the white,
Tony tried to play him like, well, that was uncalled for.
that was perfectly called for.
That's what I thought too. I was like, no, that was called for.
You're not fooling me. You tried,
Hilarious.
and you failed.
That was funny.
But it's okay.
Excuse me, back to the match. Back with Guevara hitting Super Spanish Fly for 2 of Danielson and posing with Jericho, as we said. Stereo cross bodies with Jericho and Danielson down, though. It's a double tag to Garcia and Jericho. Guevara gets dropped hard, so we get a stare down into a hockey fight. with right hands. Garcia gets the better of things and kicks Jericho in the chest, setting up a Dragon Tamer. Guevara makes the save, but the Lion Saw has Garcia's raised knees. Guevara tries to come in off the top, but dives into a crossface. Danielson grabs a crossface on the side, so now we got stereo crossfaces going on. Turns stereo hammer and anvil elbows. By Garcia and Danielson. Guevara comes back in, cleans house, but Garcia gets countered to a GTA's power driver. Jericho breaks steps, so Danielson knees him right from the apron. Going to the end of the match here. Clothesline drops Guevara. Jericho drops Danielson onto the table. With that not being enough to break, Jericho suplexes him through the table. Guevara shooting star hits the raised knees though, and now the Dragon Tamer is broken up with Jericho's belt shot. That's enough for Guevara to steal the pin. 14 minutes and 23 seconds of the main event. Post match, they basically raise Guevara. Jericho appreciates the side, raise Guevara on their shoulders as they're at ring, going out on the stage and celebrating.
What? Why? I get it. It's part
Sports
after everything back.
Sports entertainment.
I guess.
Not a good look.
Definitely not a good look. Like
everything going on, not a good look to me either. But you know, here's what it is. All right, so SmackDown. We have a new announcer on SmackDown. I think we just got some bad news. And that new announcer, you can tell my terrible impersonation there, is Wade Barrett. So we start off. Triple H starts the show off because it's the season premiere. And he says, you know, sometimes things come to an end, but it's not an end. It's just a new beginning. Welcome to the season premiere of SmackDown. And with that all over, who comes out? Of course, the Tribal Chief and the Ones. They come down to the ring, talk about what they got going on recently, whatever. All of a sudden, Logan Paul comes out and interrupts. Mike's passed to Paul Heyman. He tells Logan Paul to smarten up. He says that the good thing is Logan brings more eyes to the event who can acknowledge Roman. So he's a good thing in that way. You're about to take more punches than your brother's about to receive from Anderson Silva in their match. He said something like that. He says Logan. He said he's gonna put Logan in a hospital bed where he can acknowledge Roman Reigns from there. Logan basically asks Jey Uso if he's the tribal chief, which pisses off Roman Reigns because he's the only tribal chief. Sami Zayn comes in to play the peacemaker and break it down. Rants about Logan Paul before promising Roman Reigns will crush him. Zayn hits a catchphrase and then leaves. Next up was the match with Solo Sikoa versus Ricochet. Went about 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Sikoa jumped Ricochet after flipping entrance consents to the dive. It sounded like he was mad that he flipped into the ring, which he always does. You know, his one and only thing. It's not Solo Sikoa was pissed off at it, like he was trying to show him up or some shit. Ricochet still had his vest on when he got smacked out of the air. Triangle drop kick puts Sikoa on the floor. Ricochet flipped into hero pose. Ricochet starts fighting back, but Springboard is broken up, dropping Ricochet on the back of his head on the apron. We take a break, coming back, Ricochet fighting out of a chin lock and striking right away. A super kick into a jumping drop kick, drops Sikoa, so Ricochet goes up, only have a shooting star press counter into a spinning solo for the pin. 8 minutes and 40 seconds. The Bloodline is pleased with what happened with Sami Zayn taking some credit for Sikoa's success. He also doesn't like that, so Roman Reigns is calling him a hothead. Now Sami Zayn gets to the deal, gets to deal with the problem, the Jey Uso problem, basically. Uso and Sami Zayn run into the New Day backstage and start throwing the sauce in each other, with Edge leading to a 6-man tag set for later in the semi-main event. The main event of the night, which they've been touting all show, will be an IC championship rematch between Sheamus and Gunther. With, of course, well, actually, he sent the Braun and Bruce to the back. They're supposed to send Imperium to the back, but eventually they ended up both making it out and determining to the factor of the end of the match of the main event. We'll get into that, though, in a little bit.
Sam also got lowercase, too. So
Who did?
I think he lowercase his name. Triple H did.
Who, Gunther's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We get a White Rabbit vignette talking about Extreme Rules. So we'll get there. Hit Row has come out to make their in-ring. They're going to have a match, I guess. And Ed came out. And then they got jumped by 3 men in masks. You obviously could tell it was Legado del Fantasma and Zelina Vega back with blonde hair now. And they basically were just coming to, you know what I'm saying? Make a statement, basically. Next match, Sonya Deville and Xia Li taking on Shotzi and Raquel Gonzalez. This match went 2 minutes to 14 seconds.
She got the tank back.
Yes, she did. And now I like that she let her. I like how they shoot the
she shoot and it shoots like the fireworks.
Yeah, it shoots like the pyro as opposed to just a cha-cha-ass rocket coming out of somebody.
I like how also too I like how like she was teaming with somebody, she let them hit it like Raquel Rodriguez hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And that Rocky was good when it shot bum ass Corbin and his fucking nuts going.
DeVille and Lee DeVille drives Lee into the corner to start, and Lee comes in for a shot of her own. That doesn't last long as a hot tag brings in Rodriguez to clean house. Vader bomb elbow connects and everything breaks down. And assisted standing sliced bread drops Lee. Tahana Bob finishes off DeVille 2 minutes 14 seconds. Next match, they show a video. Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan and their whole feud. Karrion Kross and Scarlett come down to the ring, but Drew McIntyre jumps up from behind, puts a strap on him, and starts
that shit
beating
was
him
so
with
funny. They're doing their entrance and everything, and he doing the whole thing, and then you just see
it. You just see him stand up behind him. He didn't even see it.
And everybody start clapping like, why everybody clapping?
Check him out. Drew's back gets all messed up in his feet, but he glares at the villain as they leave. This is gonna be a good match.
You can bet on that.
Viking Raiders talk about waiting and healing. Woman's voice says Valhalla awaits. Not sure what the hell that meant. In your semi-main,
It don't matter. It's Sarah Logan. Spoiler alert. Okay.
In your semi, well, it makes sense. That's my man Ray White. In your semi-main, Usos and Sami Zayn take on the New Day and the mystery partner who ended up being Braun Strowman. Not a big mystery at all. Match went 10 minutes, 28 seconds. Everybody got their shit in. Sorry, I had to scroll back up on my notes and keep having to move on me over my mouse. Anyway, everybody got their shit in. Let's get to the end of the match. Jey Uso starts choking Kofi Kingston through the ropes to get some steam off. Kofi fights up and knocks Jimmy away. A line for a hot tag off of Strowman, who comes in cleaning house. Sami Zayn and Jey get into an argument on the floor. Then Jimmy get caught with the up, down, down for the pin. And the ones lose.
But they're not the ones.
Next, they have Max and Maxine Dupree are arguing backstage when he yells at her and says, "Don't call me that anymore." Max declaring he's the LA Knight again.
That part was so funny.
After he just beat down Mansoor and the other guy with the chair.
Mansoor and Masai.
Masai and Mansoor with chairs. So I don't know where their gimmick's going.
To a match next week.
To 24/7 coming near you. And we have your main event. Intercontinental Championship match. Sheamus versus Gunther. Gunther defending the title. And we get the big match intro complete with the WXW and PWG referees from Cole. They fight straight to the floor from the start. Sheamus driving him to the barricade. This is basically a truncated version of the match that they had at Clash at the Castle. I would say, to shorten this review very quickly. But the difference here is going to the end of the match, both sides factions came out, the Brawling Brutes and the rest of Imperium, brawling with each other on the outside. Was left Eichner, what was his name? It was
Giovanni Vinci?
No, the other guy. Bartel. It was Bartel, but now it's
Logan Kaiser? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he threw the shillelagh in to Gunther. Gunther hits like a lariat with the shillelagh on Sheamus to get the victory. The ref never saw it the whole time. He wins through nefarious means. 18 minutes, 17 seconds to end the show. The brawl continued as the cameras went to break. Next up, 2 more shows to go. Pull up your predictions, by the way. We can throw those out in the end of the show. AEW Rampage from Friday night. I had double duty Friday night because they surprisingly hit me with the Battle of the Belts too. That I did not know about till the Wednesday before. The show opened up with a trios match. Roosh and Private Party taking on Blackpool Combat Club. Of Wheeler Yuta, John Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli. Regal calls Excalibur a caramel cheesecake that he would let melt in his mouth. He gets gayer and gayer with these. Like, no homo. Like, do your thing. It's whatever. No problem. But, like, last week with the Rice Krispie treat, he wanted to snap, crackle, and pop and stuff. Like, Regal, chill.
Short no signs, bro.
Like, chill, bro. Regal said to Jericho, I'd rather rip off my own eyelids and dip my head in hot soapy water than sitting next to you.
Damn.
The firm is at ringside watching as Castagnoli and Cassidy takes down Cassidy with almost no effort to start. Yuta comes in as Jericho and Regal argue over how filthy or horrible Blackpool England is. Cassidy gets sent down again, so it's off to Roosh, who spits at Moxley and shakes his hair, which is enough to bring Moxley in. Roosh's German suplex is easily boxed as Moxley sends him into the corner, and we take a break. Back from break with Roosh coming in and staying on Moxley, but Cassidy isn't a fan. Moxley fights up and brings in Castagnoli to clean house, including a swing to Quinn and into an airplane spin to Cassidy at the same time because he could do that. Back up, Private Party kicks Moxley outside, only to be taken down by Yuta. A top rope splash for 2 on the Cassidy with Roosh making a save. Moxley sends Roosh to the outside, hits a suicide dive, leaving Cassidy to break Yuta's eyes. City String is broken up by Castagnoli, who is pop-up uppercuts Cassidy, who leads Yuta to grab an arm hold, the bicep slice, to make Quinn tap out. At 10 minutes, 11 seconds. Next, play a video of Death Triangle will take on Dark Order in the main event. Talking with Ted, talking about how much Brody Lee meant to them since it's the 2-year anniversary of his last match. Next match is went 1 minute and 56 seconds. Varsity Blondes versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. Tony Nese and Josh Woods win. Leave it at that. I'll just move on. Post-match, Mark Sterling said he had trademarked the term varsity in wrestling, so Nese and Woods are now known as the varsity athletes. The Blondes use the term heel soup. For more,
Heel soup.
he said for a more personal issue, his groin has been on fire since National Scissoring Day, and he's here. As he's here, they're playing rough and they rap. This is the part where I believe they said the line about Draymond Green and such. Eddie Kingston's back. He's here to talk about losing control 2 weeks ago against Sammy Guevara, and then gets annoyed that he's out of time after 30 seconds. Kingston's like, and Jeff gets 15 minutes and I get 30 seconds. Next up, Ty Mello and Anna Jay taking on Madison Rain and Sky Blue. Since you hate her so much, I'll let you tell me what happened.
Oh, they lost.
After 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Madison and Jay start things off with Rain having to deal with the early metal distraction. Blue comes in and manages to get kicked and get a kick to Jay's face. Only get tripped down and kicked by Mello. We take a break, come back with Rain getting into tag, that gets a tag in to clean house as everything breaks down. Mello gets planted, but Mello catches Rain with a gory bomb. Blue super kicks Mello, but then the Queen Slayer makes her tap out. Makes her tap. Dark Order are with the stand-up moment before the main event with against Death Triangle with Mark Henry. Looks like it's time for our main event. For some reason during this, Johnny Hungy starts breaking out into just like this English accent, like he was Sheamus McLeod or some shit, and talk about how they're gonna win this match for Brody and such. It didn't make any sense. Swerve said he doesn't care about cheers or anything. He said he rather cares about beating up Billy Gunn. Then we get your main event, Trios title match. Dark Order taking on Death Triangle. Actually being a very good match. For the second time, I'm going to cut down on some of the match did go 21 minutes. Which is kind of long, but it was a title match, so I guess I understand. Cut down to the end of the match. We have Reynolds who gets back in, who drops Pac and diving over off to tag 10. House of Clean 10 steals, Sean Spears 10 deal. Only get hammered down. By Pac. Jared isn't sure why the champs can't triple team 10, who gets caught by a moonsault and flipping splash combination. Back up, 10 gets over to Silver for the tag, and he slug it out with Pac. A brainbuster gets two, but Pac gets a blind tag that brings in Phoenix. Doesn't seem to matter. The Dark Order, who loaded for the Pendulum Bob, dropped Phoenix for 2 just as fast. Everything breaks down. Penta backstabber Silver on the outside corner. The Order is right back up to clean house with 10 hitting a discus lariat to give Reynolds a rather close 2. Q Jose the assistant for the distraction, and his Bruce giving Pac the bell hammer, which he gladly accepts and uses. Is enough to knock Reynolds silly. Not sure if Lucha Brothers saw it because they didn't act like they did. And Phoenix took out 10 on the outside. Pac comes back in and grabs the Brutalizer for the victory. At 21 minutes and 5 seconds, and that's the end of Rampage.
That sucks. They couldn't win it out of Brody.
Yeah, I thought they would. I guessed that before the match, but I guess I was wrong. And our final show of the week, AEW Battle of the Belts. 3 matches on here. First of the matches will be... Excuse me. So the folks in DC got 3 shows. Actually 4 if you include the Dark that was probably on before it. So that's dope.
You know they got a Dark 5. They probably got Elevation too.
All Atlantic title match: Trent Beretta versus Pac. Pac defending the title. And basically just stayed in the ring for this match after doing a 20-minute match with the rest of his members of Death Triangle right before this. Trent had Chuck Taylor in the corner. They early slug it out for a bit of surprise. Running clothesline puts Pac to the floor. They go to break. Skip ahead a little bit. Coming back. As they come back from break, table is set up. Trent fights back and loads Pac into the table. Takes long and launch through, and Pac gets out the way. And you have Trent get back up on top. The superplex brings him down, though. And we take a break. Back from break this time. Trent hitting a stomp out of the corner and grabbing half and half suplex. The tornado DDT plants Pac hard for 2, and a pile driver is good for the same. While Pac's neck is banged up, Trent takes him to the ramp where Pac grabs a brainbuster, though, through a table on the floor for a real big crash. Jared isn't sure why the doctor isn't there, and it's actually a fair question if you think about it. Back in, and Black Arrow hits a raised knees, meaning a small Pac give Trent 2. Half-hand suplex again, gives Trent 2 more, but Pac pulls him into the Brutalizer. The rope is reached, and Pac starts to look spent. Nothing else working. Pac grabs the ring bell hammer again. Trent picking him up. Pac channels his inner Randy channels the inner Randy Savage from Boston 1986, and Larry Bird to Trent's Tito Santana basketball to Trent's Tito Santana, and knocks him silly for the pin. 15 minutes 20 seconds. Excuse me. Jericho and the Appreciation Society so they want to teach Dan Bryan a lesson next week because they have match number 3 between each other this time for the ROH World Championship. As Jericho continues his mission of tearing down ROH and leaving it the Ring of Jericho. Claudio Castagnoli said he wants the winner of that match to get a rematch for what happened in his world title match where he was cheated by Jericho. Yeah. TBS title match next. Willow Nightingale taking on Jade Cargill with the baddies coming out defending the powers of Nightingale in the corner. They go head to head until Nightingale kicks her into the corner. Nightingale sends it to the outside with a dive through the ropes. Only hit the baddies. Jade is fine enough to run Nightingale over. We take a break. Coming back from break with Jade doing push-ups, but Nightingale runs her over with a clothesline out of the corner. The cannonball in the corner is set up for the middle rope drop kick for 2. The Doctor Bomb is broken up when he hit Jade to retain in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Willow is put down. Post-match, Vicky Guerrero, excuse me, comes out with the distraction, which causes Nyla Rose to steal the belt from ringside, and she runs off with the TBS Championship. Ethan Page and Stokely Hathaway are backstage yelling at Matt Hardy about contract tampering, and he's wondering why you're even in my biz to begin with. That's basically what he's asking them. He didn't really get an answer out of it. Hook rips up the envelope from the Trust Buster, so we don't know where that's going, which for some reason had Lexi near very upset because she wanted to know what was inside of it, and they just didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck as usual. Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida cut a promo, a very unbelievable promo on Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter getting paired for the tag team match they're going to have on Dynamite. Tony Storm wasn't an unbelievable part of it. It was more of a Hikaru Shida's. I just wasn't feeling it. Maybe it was a Japanese thing not getting over. I don't know, but it just didn't work. Anyway, Ring of Honor Tag Team title match to main event the show. The Gates of Agony taking on FTR, which I said they finally got to this match long-winded way, which I thought we were going to do before with Tully Blanchard when he was still involved in the company. But, I mean, they still got here eventually, so we'll move on from there. But, Anyway, back to this match. They're challenging, in case you don't remember them, probably because they have only had 2 matches as a team together. Most recently being like 3 months ago, unfortunately. The Gun Club was in the crowd to make fun of FTR. Hardwood and Khan fought over the locker with the start of Khan clotheslining him for daring to try a hip toss. A swinging neckbreaker gets Hardwood out of trouble, so it's off to Wheeler to fire off his own chops. From there, Khan gets Wheeler into a corner. Toa's turn to come in for a slam. The nerve hold gets slapped on before Toa goes to sit in his chest for Dan to try to do a sunset flip. Toa's belly to belly gets 2. Wheeler gets sent to the outside for a whip into the barricade. Back of Wheeler being driven to the corner for some shoulders to the ribs. Wheeler flips out of a suplex though and dives between Khan's legs for a hot tag to Hardwood. Everything breaks down. Toa catches Hardwood's middle row crossbody. Wheeler middle row drop kicks both of them though, and everyone goes down. The double hanging drop kick drops Toa, and the spike power driver gets 2 on Khan on making the save. The big rig hits Toa, but Nana offers a distraction. Not that it matters. The Hardwood backslides Khan to retain the titles. 13 minutes and 20 seconds. They've not had a tag team match against an AEW team since April 6th. So they've been carrying this out for quite a while. I'm sure the incident where everything going on with the Bucks makes it go on even longer. But eventually I do see them trying to make their way back to the AEW titles, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Post-match, the beatdown is on again when Brian Cage runs in and held the Gates of Agony. To help the Gates of Agony, Wardlow and Samoa Joe come in and make the save for the good guys to end the show. All right, predictions for Extremist Rules, brother.
All right. I remember you sent me the matches via text.
God, this fucking phone, man. I cannot win with this thing, dude.
All right, so I'll pick look. The Donnybrook Brawling Brute versus Imperium. I think I got your prediction. Did you send me your prediction?
Please do. Yeah, I did, because this ignorant phone is not holding a charge for some reason, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, so we both picked Imperium to win that match.
Phone sucks.
I quit Matt. Edge versus Finn Balor. You went with Edge. I picked Finn. Strap match, McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. We both went with Kross on that one. The Fight Pit match, Riddle versus Rollins. We both went with Riddle. The Raw Women's Championship ladder match, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. You went with Bianca Belair. I went with Bayley. I think it's time to put gold on all of them. And of course, I said it last week. I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing Bianca Belair. It's not her fault. It's kind of Roman Reigns in her. Except she has way more charisma than Roman Reigns. The fact that she's still running the hills is just amazing to me. And then the Extreme Rule match, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. I think we both picked Ronda to walk out of here as the new champion. So that is prediction.
So we're only different on one match?
We're different on 2.
Okay. Good enough.
2. So, 2. Belair, Bayley, and Finn and Edge.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up and get out of here, man. We got this one done in about 2 hours, surprisingly so. So next week's show, catching up on next week, of course, and we're going to recap. We'll start reviews off with the review of Extreme Rules before we get into last week's stuff, along with the news and such. Around here, you know what we do. Let me climb to the other side so we can also let Ron get it in. Anything else you got coming up this week?
We have nothing major. We have probably the go home show for Halloween Havoc. Overall, I don't know. Nothing coming up this week. And that I could think of. Probably do need to go and watch some Stardom. Probably catch up on the whole side of what's going on over there. Over there on Stardom. Shout out to the ladies over there. But no. I have nothing else. Rest of the news wise still pertain to this.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, as we do here every week, it's time to get out of here with some Ron Simmons. So, for Clint, I'm Rob. I gotta start that over again because I did that terribly. Terrible transition.
Oh God, damn, Rob, damn.
I got it ready. Hold on. We'll pod these things up. I'm Rob.
I'm Clint.
Till next week. Peace.
Damn.
Little shit. Noti with the ring. Yeah. Damn.
What do Magnus attract? What do Magnus? Oh, still 9. Gotta take a piss.
Shit, me too. Can't wait till we get downstairs. I'm ready to go. I ain't got nothing to piss in today. I'm putting that bottle going back in my bottle go back in the freezer. Because that is not to be peed in.